16. Isabella awoke not long after, feeling like the sunbeams were giving her a big, warm hug. Damien, our strong alpha, had been toiling for many hours each day, yet he always found little moments for her when he could. On this very day, he was heading off to another wolf family to build a strong friendship. He had asked her to join him, but she kept busy with her usual work. They decided they would do pack activities together on the 2-day break at the end of the week. Damien understood that she had a job she truly cherished, and so did he. He never once asked her to give up her dreams. He simply requested that she offer her assistance to the pack whenever she was able. When she had to go to the Justice Building, her work time often ended earlier than when she had to go to her regular office, so she would attend to pack needs at those times. Damien still managed the money, the planning, and the talking to other groups, but she was the one our pack members would seek out when they needed counsel or a helping paw with anything. This took some of the heavy load off Damien's shoulders, allowing him to put all his energy into making our pack successful. She climbed out of her bed and padded into the washroom to clean her teeth and take a splash. When she stepped out, she called for Ethan, who was having a friendly chat with Lucas. He passed Damien on his way up to Isabella's sleeping place. Damien gently rubbed his head, watching as someone else helped his soulmate. He longed to be her only protector. He wanted to look after her. He just didn't want to mess things up. He let out a long breath, continuing down the stairs. Ethan entered and placed a set of clothes on her bed. Tala, Isabella's loyal helper wolf, paused her walking as Isabella came out wrapped in a soft cloth and reached for her clothes. Isabella smiled. "I wasn't sure what you wished to put on." I laid out a dark blue, slim skirt and a bright white top. I placed the dark blue tall shoes next to them, but I know they make your paws hurt, so let me know if you want me to switch them out. No, they are fine. Thank you. Ethan nodded before putting Tala's special belt on and giving Isabella her walking stick to put inside her bag. He left her room only to bump into Damien in the hallway. "Whoa, you're like a giant rock," he muttered under his breath. "Is Isabella your only person you help?" Ethan looked confused. "No. I have a few other people I watch over." "Why do you ask?" "So if you stopped helping her, would you still have enough money?" "Yeah, I suppose. But I truly love working for Isabella, she's my very best friend." Damien looked uneasy, standing before this man, asking for aid. He had to swallow his pride if he wanted to assist Isabella, though. What if you just stayed her closest friend, but not her helper? She needs someone to look after her, you understand that? Hold on, Ethan looked at the tall man with a small grin. Are you saying you wish to become her helper? I am saying that one day I would wish to care for her completely. Well, certainly. I always knew one day she would find someone to share her life with. Do you think you can show me which outfits she likes the most? And how to dress, lady folk, he made a face. He felt so very awkward having to ask, but he barely understood male clothes, let alone female clothes. He felt much better from Ethan's encouraging smile. I absolutely can show you how. And, just so you know, I think it's truly sweet you want to learn. Before either could utter another sound, Isabella stumbled out of her room. Ethan? Yeah, I am here. Can you fasten the little circle things on my top? Ethan walked over to her and helped her finish getting dressed. As he did so, Damien vanished somewhere, probably to make the morning meal. When they reached the bottom floor, she could smell the delicious scent of cooked pig meat, and her tummy rumbled with hunger. Good morning, lovely one. She felt Damien give her a gentle kiss on the top of her head and set a plate in front of her. He had made flat, round cakes today. She adored those cakes. Soon more people came into the kitchen, and they were all having a lively chat before she had to depart. Isabella, would you like some juice from the orange? She thought it was kind of Serafina to ask, but as she got a whiff of the strong, tangy orange smell, her stomach twisted uncomfortably. She shook her head, placing her hand over her mouth. Rubbish bin, she said. What? Ethan asked, puzzled. Rubbish bin. Before anyone understood what she was saying, she turned to the side, emptying the breakfast she had just eaten onto the floor. Hannah instantly leaped from her seat and held Isabella's hair as she threw up on the ground. Damien rushed to her, rubbing her back softly. When she was finished, he got her a cup of water. "Drink this." "I am so sorry," she cried out, wiping her mouth. "I didn't think I could find my way." "It's all right, dear one," Serafina said sweetly. "Do you still feel sick to your tummy?" "Damien used to make me feel unwell every morning." Isabella nodded, still feeling incredibly embarrassed. "It came so quickly." "Let me get you to bed, Isabella," Damien said gently. "And no, I have to clean it. It's my fault." "It's okay, Isabella, I will clean it," Ethan and Serafina spoke at the very same moment. "We will take you to work later today, all right?" Isabella nodded at Hannah as Damien lifted her up. He carried her up the stairs but then realized he didn't take her back to her own room. Instead, he placed her in his bed. "This is not my room." "It is now." "What do you mean?" "You will be staying in my room from this moment on." She didn't have the energy to argue. She simply lay down. After a few short minutes, she felt the bed sink and her mate pull her into his strong arms. "What are you doing?" "You have work to do." "You don't feel good," he said, stating the obvious. "I will go in when you go in." She silently rubbed her head against his chest. She could feel him gently take off her tall shoes and unfasten her skirt before sliding it down her legs. He removed her top and put one of his large shirts on her. She let out a comfortable sigh. "Thank you. If you need to be sick again, tell me, and I will carry you to the washing place." At some point, she must have drifted off to sleep because she woke up from her tummy making gurgling noises again. "Damien," she said, a little bit scared. He immediately picked her up and carried her into his fancy washing room. He placed her down in front of the white bowl. "The white bowl is in front of you." He watched as she kneeled and was sick once more. He didn't know what to do until he remembered what Hannah had done. He held her hair and gently rubbed her back as she emptied her tummy. She eventually moved away from the white bowl and leaned against the side of the bath, her stomach still feeling unwell. "I am okay. I promise. You can go to work." "No, Isabella," he said. He sat down on the edge of the bath, rubbing her back as her head fell into her hands. "I am staying with you. Do you think this is morning sickness?" "Yeah," he replied. "My mother wants to come in, is that all right?" "Yeah, but only if she promises to leave if I have to be sick again." Damien looked at the washing room door as Serafina walked in with a kind, knowing smile. "I am sorry, my dear. I had really bad morning sickness too, but it didn't start until much later. It's probably because you are a human." Serafina sat in front of Isabella. "When I was carrying Damien, wobbly sweet food and sour yellow fruits helped a lot with the sick feeling. Would you like to try it?" "I will try anything," Isabella mumbled. After eating a little something, she started to feel better, and by the 10th hour, she was able to go to her office. When she got back home from work, it seemed like the whole pack was very upset. Ethan had gone to his own home, so it was just her and Tala. Her guards had walked her in, as they always did, but Isabella could feel Lucas tense next to her. "What is it?" "Alpha is not happy." Her eyebrows crinkled together. "He never called Damien Alpha." "What? Why?" She flinched, hearing something break from upstairs. "It seems, big plans are not going so smoothly. Luna, Alpha wants us to take you back outside for a little bit." Isabella turned towards Hannah's voice. "What? Why?" "He is in a very bad mood," Lucas explained. Isabella stood, thinking. Wasn't this a sharing kind of connection? Shouldn't she stay and lend a hand? "Is he all right?" "Yes." "Okay, well let me go put my work bag in my room, and I will come back down." Tala guided her upstairs to their room. As she walked in, she felt something break under her paw, and she knelt down to see what it was. It felt like thin paper. She picked it up and placed it next to her work bag. She took off her tall shoes and changed into more comfortable clothes. She could hear loud shouting coming from Damien's special workroom. When she was finished getting dressed, she walked down the long path. The door was already open, so she leaned against the doorway. Damien was yelling at someone, but she didn't try to figure out what he was shouting. She was quite sure it wasn't all in our common tongue. She didn't flinch from the shouting. She was kind of used to it because of her own father. She knew to just stay quiet until he was done. She stepped in, though, when she heard something snap. Damien? She walked in, stepping on something. She bumped into something by accident. He must have completely wrecked his workroom. Come here. Not now, Isabella, he sighed. You shouldn't even be here. Damien, come here right this very moment. I don't know where to walk because you destroyed your workroom, so you have to come to me. She could hear him let out a breath. After a few moments, she could feel his big body in front of her. She placed her hand on his chest and felt her way down to his hand. She started pulling him out of his workroom with a little bit of hesitation from Damien. What are you doing? Isabella took him to their room and closed the door behind them. She took off her shoes and started taking off his special jacket. Isabella. Has anyone asked you how you are feeling? What? Take off your jacket and shoes, she commanded before finding her way to the bed. She climbed on it and lay down, waiting for him. When she felt the bed sink, she opened her arms and pulled Damien onto her chest. She ran her fingers through his hair. After a few minutes, he became calm and wrapped his arm around her middle. Thank you, he whispered softly. No one ever asks how you are. Are you truly all right? No more people can pass away during my time as leader. I feel like it's my heavy burden. You are not, Damien. Look at me, everything will be fine. I promise. And even if things go wrong, you will have me. As she lay there with her soulmate in her arms, she suddenly understood that this was probably the very first time he had ever been cared for in this way. Men needed love and attention too. He deserved to be asked how he was doing, just like he asked everyone else. His feelings and thoughts mattered. We are going to stay here until you tell me you are okay. And not just sort of okay, but really, truly okay. Does that make sense? She could feel him smile. Not at all. You will know what I mean, she laughed softly. And then you are going to go take a long, warm splash. Once you are finished, come downstairs. 20 minutes later, Damien was up and taking off his clothes to splash. As he was washing, she laid out clean soft trousers and his favorite soft foot covers. She didn't want to touch the mess because she didn't know what was important, so she just went downstairs. His most loved meal was uncooked deer meat. It made her stomach feel unsettled, but he adored it. She stood in the gathering room, unsure where Lucas was. So she sighed, calling his name. Lucas? Yes, Luna. She jumped. She wasn't expecting him to be so near. What time is it? 7. Can you get the other guards and come into the eating place? Yes, but why? She gave a quick, knowing wink before leaving the gathering room. In the eating place, she went into the cold box and took out a 6-pack of bubbly drinks. She smiled as the guards came in, all saying hello to her. All of you have been working so very hard, she said. Damien included. So tonight you are going to drink and then go for a hunt. Have fun, she emphasized. Damien won't want to go too far with his best, so have fun around the pack's home. Once you have eaten, come back, and we will play stick and ball and other things. Silence filled the room. They weren't used to taking instructions from Isabella, but after a moment, they realized that she was Luna. If Luna says to get happy and celebrate, then I'm going to get happy and celebrate. Isabella laughed from Axel's funny words. 17. Isabella rested on the front porch with Hannah and Serafina. All their soulmates were out hunting in the wild. Isabella told Hannah that she should go too, but Hannah firmly said no to leaving. Isabella understood it was because Hannah did not want to leave her all by herself. "It is chilly outside," Serafina spoke. "We truly should guide you indoors. Just a few more moments, please." Isabella truly enjoyed the cool breeze, but even more, she enjoyed listening to the many different howls coming from the deep woods. She wished she could join them. "Can you see them?" "No, but we can hear them," Hannah replied. "Can you tell me what sounds you pick up?" There was a moment of quiet before Hannah spoke once more. "The guards are upset because Damien keeps getting their catch. Lucas just changed back into his human shape, and so did Damien, and now they are playfully wrestling." Isabella smiled softly to herself. She sneezed, and both women instantly ushered her inside the warm house. Serafina prepared some hot chocolate, and they all chattered happily before the pack returned. Everyone then went to the playroom. Isabella sat on a soft beanbag chair, listening to Damien hit the balls on the table with Lucas. "Curse you, Damien," Lucas mumbled. "He must have lost the game." "Hey, I said I was the winner." Isabella perked up, hearing a lady's voice. She could hear Damien giggle softly and agree to another round of the game. Isabella knew he was allowed to have lady friends and boy friends. Even she had friends of both kinds, but she kept hearing the lady's little laugh and praise Damien on his good shot. For some reason, it felt more like a special meeting than a friendly game of table ball. Her heart sank, and all of a sudden, she did not wish to be part of it anymore. She stood up and put the soft blanket back on the chair before walking out of the room. Damien wrinkled his eyebrows as he watched his soulmate leave. He put down his stick and followed her out, wrapping his arm around her middle. She gasped in surprise but then gently smiled, knowing it was him. "Where are you going?" "I am a little sleepy," she lied gently. "I was just going to rest." "You are not telling the truth," he said. "I can hear your heart beating fast." "Truly, Isabella, what happened?" Her head dropped down. She felt a little shy to tell him. "You were having a lot of fun with a lady, and that is perfectly fine. But it just reminded me that I can never do those kinds of things with you. It makes me feel sad." He caught her off guard and gave her a kiss. When he pulled back, he smiled and gently pushed a strand of hair behind her ear. "Come play a thinking game with me." "Damien, you do not even like that thinking game." She laughed as he led her back into the playroom. Her heart felt so full as she realized he was going to lose so very badly. Isabella laughed as a very tipsy Damien and Lucas argued about which of the sparkling vampire movies was the worst. Damien felt that the one called New Moon was the worst, while Lucas thought Eclipse was the most terrible. "Brother, you are so wrong right now." Lucas stared with wide eyes. "Are you truly going to tell me you thought Eclipse was a masterpiece, something great?" Isabella and Hannah looked at each other. "All right, boys, I think it is time for rest." Isabella stood up with Hannah and took Damien's arm. "Be glad you cannot see," Lucas shouted, "because Damien's face makes you mad just by looking at it." Isabella laughed as she said goodnight and helped Damien up the stairs to their room. He plopped onto the bed with a loud thud. "Did you have fun tonight?" "Yes," he answered, drawing out the word. "Good," she whispered, taking off his soft foot covers. "Isabella?" "Yes, Damien? I am so happy you are my soulmate. You are so lovely and so clever." She smiled, kissing the top of his head. "I am happy I am your soulmate too." "Isabella?" "Yes, Damien?" She answered with a soft chuckle. "I am tired." "I know, Damien. You can sleep now." "Isabella?" "Yes? I want to make a tiny person with you." "Damien," she said, standing up. "I am already going to have a tiny person." His eyes grew very wide. "You are?" He fell onto his back, filled with wonder. "That's so crazy." "I am so lucky," he pouted. She heard his breathing become slow and even, and a soft snore came from him. She shook her head with a loving smile. "No, Damien," she said, climbing into bed beside him. I am the lucky one. Isabella awoke to Damien rushing out of bed and into the washing place. She got up and went to the door, where she knocked softly. She could hear him throwing up. Are you all right, handsome? I most certainly am not handsome right now. Isabella opened the door and walked in even after Damien told her not to. She rubbed his back softly as he stood back up. She went to the sink and gave him his tooth cleaner. I did not think wolf people got sick after drinking too much. We are wolves. We are not safe from it. She laughed. I will get you some healing potion. But just so you know, I love this. I throw up all the time because of your tiny person. Isabella left the washing place and went to get dressed. She found stretchy leg covers to put on, but when she tried to put on her chest holder, she realized that it was so tight, and her chest felt very sore. She took off the chest holder and chose a loose shirt instead. She went downstairs and asked someone for healing potion for Damien. When she had the big little pills in her hand, she went back upstairs. Isabella, why is your chest holder on the floor? It hurts, she said, closing the door. Want a gentle rubbing? Actually, yes, she said, giving him the healing potion. He laughed, shaking his head. Take off your top and lie down. She did as she was told, and Damien was surprised for a moment. She could feel him sit beside her. She suddenly laughed very loudly and with many giggles as he made a silly sound with his mouth on her chest. Stop. I am ticklish. Sorry, I have always wanted to do that. Wait, you have never. No, Isabella, he said as he gently held her chest. She sat up, looking at him. What do you mean? He did not answer as he continued. She grabbed his hands. Are you a pure person? He did not answer, which was answer enough for her. Wait, why? You are 32. I wanted to wait for my soulmate, he said. I wanted to wait for you. I am not. I know. It is okay. You did not know. Do you wish I had been? Isabella, he said, holding her chin gently. I want you just how you are now. I want the person you are today. I do not care that I am not your very first, I just want to be your very last. Isabella moved her hand up his chest and pulled him toward her, kissing him deeply. He pulled away, smiling. What was that for? What? I cannot kiss my soulmate? You know, you are carrying a wolf person, that is why you are sore. You will start seeing many changes very soon. I figured that out. Do you know what that means? He got off the bed. We need to go buy things. You want to go buying things with me? I got some good hints from Ethan, but he can come too so I can learn. Learn what? To do what Ethan does for you. Why you want to be my helper? Yes, Isabella. I want to try at least. Isabella was smiling as he went into the clothes room to find something for both of them to wear. Buy it. Wait, I do not like the color. You do not like the color because you do not like green. And you only like it because she is almost uncovered. Boys, Isabella scolded, behave yourselves. Isabella's face turned red down to her chest as she stood in the large changing room with the two men. Damien insisted on getting new underclothes for her, considering she was growing steadily. Though, her tummy was still not showing yet. I do not like it, Ethan continued. And besides, if I go find another set of clothes, you get to see her almost uncovered again and in different pretty underthings. Damien's mood changed then, and he nodded, watching as Ethan left the room. He grabbed Isabella's middle, and she smiled, feeling his lips on her neck. Am I showing my tummy yet? No, but there will be a little roundness soon, I think. He moved away as Ethan came back in with another set. Isabella grew from a certain size to a bigger size. Damien did not mind at all. After going to a few more shops to get a few things, they left the big building and returned back to the Pack's home. Isabella's stomach immediately felt upset again, smelling some kind of animal meat. She emptied the insides of her stomach into the kitchen's rubbish bin. Oh my goodness, she just threw up. I cannot handle throw up. I think I am going to. Before Ethan could finish, he quickly bent over and threw up, all over Damien's shoes. As Ethan stood up and wiped his mouth, he gave a kind, understanding smile. You should have known that what Isabella goes through, I also go through. 18. As the weeks went by, Damien's pack trained very hard without stopping. He would leave very early in the morning to go for a run even before she woke up for work. He planned his hours so he would be home when she came home. Sometimes, when she felt particularly sick to her tummy, he would come home for a break to help her. Isabella sat at her writing table, feeling her special bumpy words. Lucas had to do something else today, so she was only with her 3 guards. She reached into her drawer to get her crunchy snacks just as her boss walked in. She felt nervous for their talk today. Isabella, Adams greeted. Sir, she said, standing up. You wanted to tell me something? Yes. Well, clearing her throat, she sat back down, pushing her hair behind her ear. I wanted to tell you that I am going to have a baby. The baby is due in the month of November. Oh. She could hear his voice change. An accident? No, not really. Oh, he said again. I did not know you were married. I am not. So you are having this child without being married? Interesting. Well, I always thought you were putting your work first, Isabella. Sadly, your body is going to get all messed up. My wife certainly did. Anyway, congratulations, and I want that paper on my table very soon. Hannah rolled her eyes as he left. I cannot believe someone married that man. Many weeks had passed when one morning, Isabella woke up to no morning sickness and no sore breasts. It was like it happened in just one night. Damien was sleeping soundly next to her as she got up to go to the toilet. When she returned to bed, he was sitting up and grabbed her middle. He placed a gentle kiss on her stomach, and she gasped softly. You are starting to show your tummy. She placed her hand on her stomach with a sweet smile. That means it is growing in a healthy way. Come back to bed. Our special visit is not for a few hours still. She laughed as he pulled her into his warm hug and back into their bed. I thought you had to get ready for your big, important meeting. I have time to hold my soulmate in bed. They both lay there, wrapped in each other's arms, trying to go back to sleep. Suddenly, Damien became tense, and she sat up, feeling the bed sink as he got up. Where are you going? We have a visitor, he mumbled. Huh. I will be back in a few short minutes, he said, kissing the top of her head. She could hear his belt buckle unfasten and then their sleeping room door close. She sighed, falling back into bed. She tried to go back to sleep, but she realized Damien still was not back after a whole hour. She got out of bed and went to find Lucas or someone, but it seemed like the whole pack was somewhere else. As she drank her warm leaf water in the kitchen, the front door slammed shut, and she could hear many people stomping into the living room. People were not happy, she could tell by the continuous loud yelling. She did not know that voice, though, but she could smell Damien. She stood up off her tall seat and walked into the living room only to feel something crash near her feet. She jumped from being surprised. She let out a small cry. She tried to move away, but she was not wearing any soft foot covers and cut her foot on the broken glass. She could hear Damien yelling, but it was far away. He was outside, but she could hear his loud steps onto the porch and then into the house. She did not know what was happening, but it sounded like a fight broke out. You are dripping red. Isabella could tell it was Hannah who came to her. I am okay. You are still dripping red. Move. Isabella followed Damien's voice and then felt his big hands on her upper legs. He gently scooped her into his arms. Get them off my land, he ordered Lucas. He carried her into the kitchen, setting her on the high counter. He gently placed her foot into the sink and ran warm water over the cut. She hissed from the burning pain. I am sorry. What for? I am a clumsy person. They should not have been near you. Damien. No. He made a deep, rough sound at her, and he only did that when he was feeling very stressed. She grabbed the front parts of his jacket and pulled him toward her, hugging him very tightly. After a few minutes, he became calm and let out a sigh into her hair. You may think humans are weak, but our bodies are very strong. It is just a cut. I will be fine. What happened, though? Some small wolf person from another pack threw a fancy pot. He was angry and did not realize you were so close. What was he angry about? He is a friend of ours. He wants to attack. But you do not. Not while my soulmate is going to have a baby. What will you do then? He was quiet, and she had a feeling that was not exactly a good sign. I am going to keep you safe. Isabella lay down on the special room bed with her top pulled up above her stomach. She shivered as the cold jelly was put onto her stomach. Meredith rubbed her gloved hands together before turning on the seeing machine. You are far enough along that maybe we can see if it's a boy or a girl. Do you know what you want? A healthy baby, Isabella said. Damien agreed. Well, I am sure that is the case. Do you want to know if it's a boy or a girl today? Considering I cannot see, I do not know how to do a reveal that would be exciting for me. You could always do something with another sense. Maybe taste or hearing. For example, if it is a girl, you can eat or drink something that tastes like the red berry fruit, and if it is a boy, something else. It is okay, Isabella said. I do not need a big, fancy reveal. Actually, yes, Damien said. You do. If you could see, would you do a reveal? I mean, yes. Then we will do one too. Isabella smiled and nodded. Okay. Her heart felt big and warm. Secretly, she really did want to have a reveal like every other mother, but also like a mother who carries another's baby. She is his carrier, she had to remember that. I will put the boy or girl information in a paper cover, and then you can take it home and open it when you want. Meredith smiled again and watched the screen. That is the heart beating, she said as a strong thump filled the room. Isabella smiled at Damien. Suddenly, Meredith became very quiet, and Isabella instantly knew something was wrong. What is it? Just one moment, she answered. Dr. Meredith, Damien warned. He was very tense, just like Isabella was. Neither could even imagine the thought of something being wrong with their child. So, Mr. Weston, do you see that small dark bag in that white part? Yes. That is your baby. Meredith cleared her throat. But do you see those other dark bags? What is that? Damien asked. 3 tiny ones, you are having 3 tiny ones. 19. 3 tiny ones? As in, 3 little wolf cubs? Meredith chuckled at Isabella's surprise. Yes. I will give you a few short moments to let everything sink in, and I'll put your baby's boy or girl information in a paper cover. When I come back, we need to talk about changing your birthing plan. Meredith stood up and left the special room, leaving behind 2 very surprised parents. Damien rubbed the back of his neck as he thought deeply. Isabella played with her fingers. Are you sad? No, he said. I just was not expecting. Yeah, me neither, she answered. It is all right. It will be much more work, but we have enough money for it. We have enough space. We have each other. It is a good thing, Isabella. She smiled, nodding her head. She pointed toward her lips, and he kissed her, understanding her hint. A few moments later, Meredith returned and sat down in front of the pair. Isabella had sat up and pulled her top back down. So a normal birth is about 40 weeks, but with 3 tiny ones, anything more than 36 weeks can be very, very risky for the mother and the little ones. Because of this, it is safer to have a special cut birth than a regular pushing birth. I do suggest a special cut birth, but if you insist, we can try a regular pushing birth. If a special cut birth is safer, we will do that. Wait, Isabella said. What are the bad things that can happen with a special cut birth? Well, about 85 out of 100 bad things are too much bleeding after birth. Roughly 36 out of 100 women have very serious problems. Other things we should think about are blood clumps or a bad reaction to the sleep medicine. What about the baby? She asked. I mean babies. Are there any possible problems for the babies? Usually, babies are perfectly safe being delivered by a special cut. It is much more dangerous for the mother. Which one is the safer choice for Isabella? Damien asked. What do you mean to me? She asked, sitting up even more. You need to care about the babies. I do care about them, but I would rather have you. We could always make more. Isabella rolled her eyes, annoyed that he would not put the safety of the babies before hers. We need to talk about this later. What if Isabella pushed the babies out in the usual way? Meredith shook her head. It is far more dangerous for Isabella and the babies. The babies will be too early and will most likely need special care right after birth. Also, giving birth to one baby is a lot for the body. 3 is often too much for the pushing area and may cause too much bleeding. So a special cut birth seems like the safest choice, he said. Yes. Most women tend to start labor before 40 weeks with 3 tiny ones, but we will still plan a date for the special cut birth. Today is the last day of May, so that puts 36 weeks on the first week of November. Do you have a favorite day during that week? It is up to Isabella. Any day is fine with me. Great, so let us make it the 6th day of November, a Friday, for your planned special cut birth. If your water breaks earlier, you will have an emergency special cut birth. What else do we have to worry about? He asked. It was clear that he was worried about all the bad things that could happen. Isabella was also worried, but her most important thing was her babies. She would rather pass away than her babies. It bothered her that Damien did not feel the same way. Basically, all the careful steps you would take in a normal baby carrying time are even more important now. Isabella will be very tired, uncomfortable, she may even feel very strong morning sickness. As we get further along, we may need to think about resting in bed all the time. You may also feel back pain. You will grow very quickly. You will wake up one morning and feel huge. Gentle moving is great to fight against the very strong hunger you will feel. You are taking care of 4 now, so everyone must remember this. As Isabella and Damien walked through the door, she could hear Tala's loud bark. She smiled, bending down to gently pat her sweet half-wolf helper. Do you want some warm leaf water? Damien smiled, placing his hand on her back. I will make you some. He looked down at Tala as she made a low, angry sound at Damien. Tala immediately put herself between Damien and Isabella. He rolled his eyes as they went into the kitchen. She is protective of her space. Isabella sat down on the tall seat by the counter. Tala jumped up and placed her paws on Isabella's lap. Smiling, Isabella gently ran her hand through Tala's soft fur. What do you mean? She has always been protective. Yes, but now even more so. Now, even around people she knows, she is careful. Why is that? You are carrying babies now. She can tell. Damien put on the water heater, making the water warm. Do you want flower-scented or English morning-style leaf water? Flower-scented. So what does that mean? She is going to want your attention all the time. Once the warm leaf water was ready, she took it upstairs to lie down. She was very tired. Damien stayed downstairs to talk, reading some of his papers. Serafina walked in with Long John, and they sat down at the table. How was the doctor's visit? Damien looked up at his mother. It was good. Well, what is the boy or girl news? We do not know yet. Isabella always wanted some kind of special moment to show, but she thinks she cannot have one because she cannot see. Nonsense. We can think of something, Long John said. Actually, I might have an idea already. There is something else you should know, Damien said with a small smile. You are about to have 3 tiny ones from your grandchildren. 3? What? Serafina's eyes grew wide with amusement. 3 tiny ones? Congratulations, my dear. Damien reached into his pocket, taking out the paper cover. He gave it to Long John. You have the idea, after all. It was warm outside. She loved feeling the sun on her skin. She wondered if she got darker in the sun like she used to. It had been many years since she had seen herself. She smiled, feeling Damien's hand move up her back. You all right? She smiled at his worry. Yeah, I am okay. He gently placed his open hand over her growing tummy. You do not feel sick to your stomach? She shook her head, smiling. She liked how his touch made her whole body tingle and feel alive. Like somehow it was not just her that enjoyed his presence. Why did you want me outside? You deserve everything you want, Isabella. Looking at him oddly, she felt someone else close to her. She could tell it was Long John as he took her hand. We are going to play a thinking game. Well, 3 of them, actually. And if you win, I will give you a game piece. If it is a queen, it is a girl, and if it is a king, it is a boy. Isabella smiled as Long John led her further into the grassy area. There were 3 bigger than normal tables set up, so she had to stand to play with her mate's father. She smiled at Long John. I did not know you liked losing so much. He chuckled, cracking his finger bones. As the game began, Isabella could not help but ask questions. She could hear other pack members gathering around their game like they had the first night she played. What would you prefer, Long John? Boys. I do not exactly feel like ending the life of my granddaughter's partner. Isabella laughed. You did not end my life, though. Boys are different. My granddaughter is very precious, no one should ever touch her. You do know women enjoy fun times. Long John covered his ears, shouting. Stop. This is about my granddaughter. So it is a girl? Isabella's eyes sparkled. Oh, no idea, he lied, moving his castle piece. The alpha leader spot goes to the firstborn, right? Even if it is a girl? Yes, although our pack has never had a female alpha. Oh, God, Long John sighed. What if my granddaughter becomes alpha? I cannot pass away for another few hundred years then. Isabella moved her piece again, winning their first game. She smiled, full of excitement as Long John handed her a wrapped box. I think you cheat, he muttered. She did not respond as she tore the wrapping paper off. Her hand went deep into the box, and she made a soft sound of happiness, feeling the piece. Damien walked behind her, whispering in her ear. What is it? She lifted the piece with a brilliant smile. It is a girl. Next game. They moved to the next board, and once again, Isabella won. Long John was beginning to think he had to change his way of playing. She could hear a car pull up and an eager Ethan run onto the grass. Oh my goodness, did I miss it? What boy or girl is the tiny one? The first tiny one is a girl. He looked at Hannah. Excuse me, the first? She is having 3 tiny ones. Oh my goodness, I am going to faint. She is so small. She is going to burst. They are playing games of thinking as a boy or girl reveal. Okay, that is cute as heck. Oh, I think she is about to win. Ethan watched as Isabella ripped open the wrapping paper. He had never seen her smile so happily. Boy. Ethan watched as Long John angrily started the next game, asking himself how he always lost. Ethan snorted. You do know she studies you, right? Ethan. Isabella yelled. She what? Long John asked. Ethan laughed. She understands people, their actions, words, how they act, and then comes up with a plan. Everyone looked at Isabella. She blushed, rubbing her head. You are an alpha, she mumbled. You make quick attacks at the start. You are strong. As the third game began, Isabella could tell that he had changed his game plan. She lost for the first time. Still, he handed her the box, and she opened it. She smiled, feeling the curved shape of the piece. Another boy. 20. 16 weeks passed. Isabella felt truly wonderful. No more morning sickness. No more upset tummy. It was great. She sat up and stretched, smiling as she felt Damien lying next to her. She was 16 weeks into carrying her babies now, and while she had a small baby bump, she was not showing much unless she wore tight clothes. She knew that once she started showing more, it would not take long for her to swell up like a big balloon. She made a soft groan, needing to use the washing place. She heard Tala move from the floor and come to her side. Tala now always followed her no matter where she went. Isabella did not speak as they went into the washing place. Once she no longer felt like her bladder would burst, she decided to take a water spray. Tala made a soft, crying sound but lay down on the soft rug just outside the water spray area. She took off her clothes and got into the water spray, feeling happy from the hot water. She ran a hand over her stomach and smiled to herself. She just felt different. Better. More alive. She put soft stuff and bubbly soap in her hair, and then cleaned her body. Once she felt satisfied and smelled like strawberries, she got out and wrapped a soft cloth around herself. Tala moved out of her way as she walked out of the washing place. Their sleeping room door had a soft knock, and she opened it, only wrapped in a soft cloth. Isabella, girl. Ethan stopped talking as his eyes went to the bed, where a bare-chested Damien lay. Ethan did not mean to, he knew it was not right to look, but it was so large. What? She asked, noticing him stop. Damien has a strong case of morning stick-up. You might want to take care of that. What? She turned pale. She did not realize. Are you looking at it? Well, how could I not? If you could see, you would look too. Stop looking. She shrieked, closing the door in his face. Ethan chuckled, facing the hard, wooden door. Ha. Wooden. So, I guess you're not ready then? Sorry. She turned around, hearing Damien's voice. F for what? I usually lie on my stomach to hide it. She played with her fingers, blushing softly. Why hide it? Getting hard is normal. I know, Isabella. It is just easier for me to ignore it. Why ignore it? He laughed, standing up. He walked towards her and wrapped his arm around her middle, lifting her to her tiptoes to kiss her. I usually make myself feel good when you are not around. Maybe I want to watch? She could hear him groan and then make a low, angry sound. He did not say anything, but he let go of her and must have fallen on the bed. She crossed her arms and walked toward the bed. Damien, we are a pair now. You are my boy partner. My soulmate. If you are feeling excited, just tell me. I am not a pure person, so I am not bothered by this. You are saying you will sleep with me? She laughed at how his voice perked up. Yes. Well, usually. I am excited a lot too, especially around you. Just tell me, and we can handle it together. Before he could answer, someone knocked on their door. This time she did not open it. There was a struggle on the training grounds, Damien. She recognized Lucas's voice instantly. She looked back to the bed, listening as Damien got up and seemingly got dressed. He came to her and kissed her head. We will return to this talk later. A struggle? Yeah, he sighed. Sometimes, things get out of hand. I will be back soon. Do you want me to come with you? How are you feeling? I am okay, she said, smiling. I want to see you in action, Alpha. You are a mischievous one. He pulled her closer to him, smelling her hair. But I am yours. Darn right, he said, giving her bottom a playful tap. She made a little squeal, laughing into his chest. What do you want to wear today? Is it warm outside? It is scorching hot outside. You are always warm. Is it my warm or your warm outside? It is 80 degrees outside. She hummed. Oh, she said excitedly. Can we wear clothes that match? That would be so cute. I think I have something that would go with one of your shirts that button up. You are adorable, he said, walking away. She sat back down on the bed, petting Tala, waiting for him to return. He did after a short time, and they both got dressed. He told her he picked out a dark blue dress for sunny days with black open shoes that matched his dark leg covers and dark blue top. He helped her outside, and Tala followed very closely by Isabella. She could hear loud cries from deep voices followed by loud grunts. She could tell there was a crowd of people around her. He walked her somewhere and stopped suddenly. Stay here with Hannah. I will be right back, Damien said. She could not respond before he left quickly. What is the struggle about? Some young ones got into it. Apparently, when they were practicing fighting, someone hit below the belt, and the other was not happy about that. And this is Damien's job to handle? What about their parents? It is a training session. Anything that happens now is Damien's job. Isabella hummed and listened to the noisy mess around her. She could hear a deep growl that she knew was Damien's, but it was quickly lost in everyone else's shouting. After a while, Damien returned, clearly very annoyed. He grabbed Isabella's hand, pulling her away from the scene. Is everything all right? It is silly. This whole struggle was meaningless. She could hear the upset in his voice as he led her back up the porch steps and inside. I am sorry. It is not your fault. I know, but I cannot. I cannot help, and all the worry is on you. Your job, he said, turning to her, placing his hand on her stomach, is to carry our tiny ones. You do not need to deal with all this nonsense. Grabbing his hand, she smiled. Do you have papers to do? Of course. Can I spend the day in your workroom with you? Of course, he repeated, wrapping his arm around her middle again. As Isabella sat on the soft seat next to his desk, she could feel his upset leaking through him. She did not know what he was doing, but she enjoyed being near him. She longed for his attention these days. She sat up, hearing the door open. Alpha Brax wants to have another meeting. Figure it out, Lucas, he said. I do not care when, just make sure everyone is thoroughly checked before entering our special place. Lucas left quietly after Damien spoke sharply to him. She listened for the door to close before standing up. She walked behind his chair and gently rubbed his shoulders. You are stressed. He did not answer. She pulled away and pulled his chair away from the desk. I have to work, he said. Then work, she answered, kneeling between his legs. Isabella. Damien, she whispered with a playful grin. She ran her hands over the seam of his leg covers and enjoyed how flustered he became from her touch. He groaned, but tried to work on his Pax Money matters. She could feel him grow beneath his leg covers, and she felt a swell of pride. She was glad he was drawn to her. She leaned forward and ran her tongue over the fabric. She felt his part twitch from excitement, and she smiled. Feeling his head make his leg covers damp, she unbuttoned them and slid down the zipper. Can I taste you? She made sure her voice was soft and inviting. He could barely bark out a yes before he stood up and pulled his underwear and leg covers down. He sat back down, and she gently kissed up his thoughts, rubbing her nails over his skin. He smelled like his body soap. As there was a knock on the door, he stared with wide eyes, clearing his throat. What? Hey, Lucas wanted me to tell you that the latest paper came in the mail. All right, Hannah, he stuttered as Isabella gently took him in her mouth. He could barely control himself and hold a steady talk. She was so gentle, so warm, so skilled. Her tongue gently swirled around his head while her hands stroked him confidently. She moved her tongue down him again, making his legs shake. Are you okay? You sound sick, Hannah said through the door. I am fine. Leave, please. He could hear her mumble something but did not care as Isabella continued to give him pleasure. Suddenly, his stomach tightened, and he grabbed her hair, clenching it. He guided her head down his part, feeling him hit the back of her throat. "Stop," he panted. "I am going to." Instead of pulling off, she swallowed as much of his largeness as she could and waited. His part twitched as it gave her all of his seed. She could feel his essence cover the back of her throat. She pulled away and wiped her lips, standing up. She gave him a second before pulling him to his feet, pulling up his leg covers, and sitting him back down in his chair. "Now, you can work with a little less stress. Many packs have become friends with you." "That is good." Damien nodded as he brought his cup to his lips. "Yes. It is in case we go into a real fight." "Well, is that not the plan?" Damien looked away from his mother to his soulmate, who was lying on the soft seat. She suddenly sat up, holding her stomach. "Isabella?" he asked, sitting down beside her. "Are you all right?" "Yeah," she whispered. "Just felt a little dizzy." "Do you want to go to bed?" "No, I am okay." "Oh, Isabella." She looked up, hearing Serafina's voice. "I was thinking, maybe tomorrow we can go buying things, and we could invite your mother and father. After all, we still have not met them." "Oh," she trailed off. "Well, I will ask them," she lied with a small smile. She grabbed Damien's hand. "You know what? I am a little tired. I think I am going to go lie down." She stood up, making sure Damien knew she was fine. She went upstairs and fell on her bed, sighing. She sent a message to Ethan. "Well, what are you going to do?" Isabella sighed, taking the long, warm sausage from the cellar. This morning she had gone to work as usual, but she was able to get a little bit away from her guards for lunch with Ethan. "I do not know. Tell them that you have a mean, crazy dad that hit you so hard you could not see anymore." "That is not exactly true," she sighed. "And I do not know. I do not want to. I want to be normal for once in my life." "You are carrying the children of a powerful wolf leader. That is never going to happen." "Ugh, what should I do?" "Honestly, I think you should tell Damien. I think he could help with a lot of your worries. I also think he has shared his life with you, so maybe you could think about doing the same. But I think getting better is not a straight line. You need to do what is best for you." He chuckled. "Hannah and Lucas are getting restless. Let us go back." Isabella was busy typing on her magic box as her phone made a ringing sound. She did not pay attention to it, continuing her short paper. After it stopped, it rang again, and she sighed. She asked Lucas to read the name, but it had no name on it. She hung up again, continuing to work. When it rang for the third time, she gave in and answered. "This is Isabella Evergreen, the lawyer. How can I help you?" "Hello, Miss Evergreen. I am calling from the Good News Hospital for Samantha Evergreen. You are her emergency contact person. She has taken a pretty bad fall and broke her arm. She says that her husband is unable to take her home. Are you able to come in?" Isabella stopped right away. She felt herself get sick. Her mother did not fall. It was never her mother's fault. She had to get there, but she did not want her wolves to follow. She knew, however, that she would never be able to get away. "Yes, I will be there shortly." "Your mother is hurt?" Hannah asked. She nodded, standing up, grabbing her bag. "Do you mind driving me?" Isabella walked as fast as she could into the emergency room to the desk where the nurse sat. Hi. I am Isabella Evergreen. I am Samantha's daughter." "Ah, yes. She is in the emergency area. Her arm had X-ray pictures, and she is on pain medicine, but she is ready to go after filling out some papers." "Right this way, miss." She followed quickly with Tala, Lucas, and Hannah. They were led somewhere that was very, very busy. "Isabella?" "Mom," she sighed softly. "Can you hug me?" I do not know where you are. Samantha stood and pulled her into her arms. I am so happy to see you. Her eyes landed on the people behind her. Who are your friends? This is Lucas and Hannah. They are Damien's friends. Damien? Lucas and Hannah looked at each other. Her mother did not know who he was. He is my boy partner, Mom. You have a boy partner. You never told me. I know, I have just been busy. Let us get you into the car, okay? 21. 18 weeks passed. Sweetheart, I wish to meet him. Isabella smiled towards her mother, then rested her head against the window. She felt unsure about Damien's family meeting hers. She wasn't ashamed of her mother, but she was ashamed about her past life. She was ashamed about the bad treatment. Ashamed by her marks. Ashamed about her father. You will, eventually. So how did you tumble, Mrs. Evergreen? It must have been a nasty happening. Samantha looked at Hannah with a sad smile. Oh, I was painting something, and I fell off the tall climbing thing. That sounds painful. Was your husband home? Samantha stiffened. No, he was at his work. But he did not come to the healing place? Lucas asked with doubt. If Hannah was ever hurt, he would come right away to help her. No. He is too busy, she said quietly. Isabella turned to face her mother, but she shrugged her shoulders. She did not fall. It was never an accident. Soon enough, they arrived at her family's house. She got out and went to her mother's door. Do you want us to come inside with you? No, it is okay. Isabella helped her mother up the steps and into their home. She sighed deeply as they walked in, smelling the terrible smell of strong drink. Something broke under her feet, and she could tell it was glass. They must have had one terrible fight. Maybe you can come and stay with me for a little while, Mom? He does not know where I live. You would be safe. I love him, Isabella, and he loves me. I know he does. If he did, he would never hurt you like this. If he loved me, he would have never. She stopped, holding back her crying. He would have never hurt me like he did. Go home, Isabella. I will be fine. I think I should stay. No, she said quickly. You have a life, a boy partner, a job. I will be fine, sweetheart. Go. Go. He will be home soon. Isabella, with hesitation, hugged her mother goodbye before turning around and leaving. She went back into the car and stayed quiet until her stomach felt upset. They were on some fast road, but she could tell it was not very busy. She sat up, putting her hand to her mouth. Stop the moving thing. What? Lucas asked. Stop the moving thing. Lucas pulled over quickly, and she opened her door. Taking off her seatbelt, she held her hair back as she threw up on the side of the road. Hannah came to help her, rubbing her back and taking her dark hair from her hands. Isabella made a retching sound again before throwing up more. It was strange for her to throw up so much, and Lucas and Hannah knew that. After a few minutes, she wiped her mouth and stood up. Lucas handed her a soft cloth, and she thanked him. Sorry, I do not know. Are you okay, Luna? She smiled at her special name, nodding. Yes. Can we stop and get some water, please? When they arrived home, Damien was walking back and forth by the door. He came to her, pulling her into his arms. Are you okay? What happened? Isabella, dear, is your mother all right? She smiled at Serafina's voice. She is okay. She fell. She pulled away then and rubbed the back of her neck. I am tired. I am going to go take a water bath. Damien watched with doubt as she left. He turned to Lucas, who shrugged. I think something else is happening. It is making her so worried, she got sick. Well, her mother just got hurt, Hannah said. It is normal for her to be worried. Damien decided to give her some time alone before going up 20 minutes later. He could smell the fresh scent of rose coming from the washing place. He knocked gently on the door and walked in after hearing her hum a tune. "Damien? It is me." He cleared his throat, sitting on the side of the tub where she bathed. He grabbed the rough sponge from her hands and then her leg, setting it on his lap. He gently rubbed it over her leg. "You know, I practically remembered every part of your body that I have seen. You have a special mark on your thigh and white skin under your right chest. I also know that you have cuts on your back, and I wonder what they are from. You said they are from an accident. Your mother had an accident today." "Damien," her voice broke. "You do not have to tell me now, or even ever. But I will be waiting for when you are ready." As he stood up to give her time alone, she grabbed his arm. Quietly, she turned around in the tub, and with a soapy hand, reached for her back. "And my dad, he is not like yours. My mom got pregnant when she was young. When I was young, they were happy. He was kind and sweet." She closed her eyes, swallowing hard. "And my mom? She was almost like yours. They would have really liked each other, I think." Damien knelt down next to the tub and gently washed her back as she spoke. "My mom got pregnant when I was 10. It was a boy. After he was born, he passed away from sudden baby death. My parents were very, very sad, rightly so. Soon after, my dad started drinking. He would only hit my mom for a while until I started growing into a teenager. I guess I reminded him too much of their tiny baby because he started hitting me or throwing plates at me. Sometimes cups. Bottles. Those are what those marks are from. He would not take me to the healing place for those. He would not let my mom take me either." She brought her knees to her chest, stopping for a moment. She was crying now. "But what I went through was nothing compared to what my mother goes through. He would tie her to the bed at night and cut her, choke her, whatever he could to make her suffer for giving birth to a baby that was not perfect. When I was 15, I had enough, and I went to the police. They did not believe me. My father was on the city's important group. As punishment, she stopped. As punishment, he hit me in the back of my head with a bottle. I was in the healing place for weeks. That is how I went blind. And once I could not see, he could torture me in more ways than he could ever think of. He used to take me out of my bed and leave me outside so I would wake up scared and not knowing where I was. That is how I found Tala." "Your father? He made you blind?" She nodded as he rubbed soft stuff into her hair. "Lie back," he whispered. He gently washed out the soap from her hair and helped her back up. "And your mother stays with him? She loves him and feels that he loves her too. She did not fall, did she?" "No. He broke it. I try to take her away, but she always goes back." He gently cleaned the rest of her body before sitting on the edge of the tub. He grabbed her hand, kissing it. "What are you not telling me?" She looked up and then laid her head on his lap. "Will you let me stay when I have the babies?" "Of course, Isabella. They are your children." "I am scared," she whispered. "He will not ever hurt you." "Not again," he promised. "What if the same thing that happened to my mom happens to me?" He grabbed her chin and kissed her. "I will never lay a hand on you like that. What your father does, he does out of not feeling good enough. He is not a real man. I am. I value my woman. I worship my woman. I am not like him. I could be anything in the world, but all I want to be is yours." She nodded and closed her eyes to his hand stroking her hair. 22. 20 weeks passed. Isabella lay on the familiar examination table with her shirt lifted above her stomach. Meredith was quiet for long periods of time as she ran the smooth tool over her tummy. "What are you doing?" "I am looking very closely for any warning signs on the picture machine." "No worries, Isabella. I see no strange things within any of the babies." Meredith cleaned off her stomach and asked her to pull her shirt back down. I want to measure your stomach from now on. It is important to watch how much you grow. Sit up, please. Isabella listened, and Meredith took a soft measuring tape, wrapping it around her stomach right across her belly button. You are about 25 finger lengths, which is normal for 3 tiny ones. I want you to come back every week for a checkup. You may be feeling some squeezing on your lower back, so I suggest a special belt for pregnant women if it grows to be too much. Have you felt any moving yet? Isabella shook her head. Well, you should very soon. At first, it will feel like a gentle flutter, but eventually, it will grow into strong pushes. Sometimes, 3 tiny ones push each other as a baby response, so expect a lot of moving. You will start to gain about 1 heavy thing a week until birth. You will see a lot of swelling, that is normal. Your strong desire may also change. It is perfectly safe and healthy to do fun body activities. You are halfway through your baby carrying time, which is a big deal, Isabella. Get some cheesy bread or sweet brown treat to celebrate. Daily gentle stretches will help with the swelling. You might want to start working on the baby gift list as well. And now that you know the boy or girl news, maybe start decorating the baby's room. I will print out a picture from the seeing machine for you to take home. Meredith left and then returned with the picture from the seeing machine. Damien took it and laughed, leaning toward Isabella. Our boys got something from me. What? For a moment, she was unsure, but then she laughed. Oh. I do suggest stretching every day. Do you have any questions? Isabella shook her head, and Damien helped her off the bed. They walked out of the building and into the car. Damien drove them back to the house. When they arrived, they went upstairs and watched the movie Lion King. Isabella really wanted to. However, when the daddy lion held onto the cliff, and Isabella cried in his arms, Damien started to think he may have made the wrong choice. Isabella wet his shirt from her tears, shouting that even though she could not see, hearing was much worse. See, can you get me some water? He smiled, kissing her head. Of course. As he walked to the door, he turned around, remembering he had to talk to Isabella. Dr. Meredith said you should move your body a little. Do you know what you would like to do? No, she said, but he was right. She was not exactly super active now, but she did want to lose the baby fat quickly after birth. I will think about it. Damien nodded as he left. As he grabbed a glass from the cupboard, he winced hearing shouts through his mind link. It was Lucas, shouting something that was impossible to understand. Someone is on the eastern edge of the land. He growled, frustrated that his time with Isabella was cut short. He had expected something to happen, he just did not know when. Apparently, that day was today. Pushing himself away from the counter, he quickly mind-linked Hannah and her 2 other guards to stay here. Hannah rushed into the living room as Damien was about to leave. Do we know who it is? No. Stay here with Isabella. I will let you know what happens. She nodded, watching as Damien left through the door. She ran up the stairs, soon joined by the other 2 women. There was only one at the edge of the land, a female guard said. Yes, why? The other asked. I do not know, Hannah answered as they got close to the Luna's door. But stay close to it. Expect anything. She opened the door, seeing Isabella sit up, confused by the sudden many footsteps. Who is there? It is me, Luna, Hannah said. Someone is at the edge of the land. Alpha had to go help out. Come on, we have to get you somewhere safe. Isabella stumbled to her feet as she felt hands on her arms, helping her up. Wait, is Damien alright? Where are we going? Damien's workroom can act as a safe room for bad situations like this. The 3 women moved slowly down the hall to the workroom. Hannah went in with Isabella, while the other guards stayed outside the door. Hannah went to Damien's desk, pushing something, and suddenly Isabella could hear loud metal noises around her. It is metal walls, Luna. Stop calling me that, she whispered. Why? Because you only call me that when you are worried about something. Someone hit the workroom door loudly, and Hannah grabbed Isabella's hand, leading her behind the desk. Get under the desk. Hannah placed her hand on the desk to keep herself steady as her sight became blurry. She felt dizzy. She took a breath and swallowed, hearing as the downstairs door broke open. Her eyes grew wide as she felt the familiar mint taste in her mouth. Wolfsbane. It was the only stuff that affected all wolves in similar ways. First dizziness, then the mint taste, and finally a fall. It would not kill her, but it would make her unconscious and be hard to get better from later. Hannah, feeling sleepy, knelt down in front of Isabella. Luna, she whispered. Did Alpha ever tell you about Wolfsbane? And no. I cannot explain it. I am going to pass out, Isabella, and when I do whatever is needed to protect yourself. Use me as a cover, try to run, anything, Isabella. Do you understand? What? No. Do you understand? Hannah never yelled at her like that before. She nodded suddenly, hearing a loud thump in front of her. Hannah? No answer. Isabella shook her, but she did not respond. She jumped hearing a loud growl outside the door. She pushed herself into the corner of the desk, shaking from fear. The phone in his workroom rang, and with hesitation, she stood. Before she could pick it up, she heard his voice. Isabella, are you okay? She looked at the door, but only saw black. It sounded like Damien, thank goodness, she said inside her mind. The phone kept ringing even as Damien called for her. She tilted her head, realizing Damien also simply said her name. It was never anything more than a simple Isabella. She picked up the phone and brought it to her ear. Hello? Isabella. Damien, she whispered, feeling relieved. I am so glad you are home. Isabella, he said softly. I am not. Her blood turned cold, and she swallowed hard as she heard Damien scream something. Listen to me, do whatever you need to stay safe, Isabella. I am coming now. She swallowed again, bringing the landline phone to her chest. She breathed, realizing what she had to do. She hung up. Damien? Yes, it is me, he responded. It was not him. It sounded like him, yes, but Damien was on the phone. She knew that he was the one on the phone, not behind the door. Come out, Isabella. We have to take you somewhere safe. She had a feeling it was not exactly somewhere safe. But if she did not open the door, she was afraid of what would happen. She would pretend to go along and make her life last as long as she could. She walked slowly to the door, opening it. She forced herself to throw herself into his arms. She tried to pretend like he was her Damien. Hannah, she. I know, he whispered. I will get someone to handle it. Come. Goodness, he sounded like him. She wondered if he looked like him as well. He pulled on her hands, and she followed him. What is happening? The border is being attacked. We have to get your things and leave. She nodded, and he helped her up to her room. As she walked in, she heard the door close behind her. She closed her eyes, feeling nervous, feeling her skin crawl. Whoever it was came behind her and ran his hand down her back. Your bag is on the bed. Tell me what you want. She turned around toward him. She remembered what Damien told her before. Stay safe. Do what you have to do to make a path or wait for him to come save her. Taking a breath, she placed a hand on his chest and smiled in a flirty way. I want you, she whispered. I know we do not have a lot of time, but I want you, she repeated. She went on her tiptoes, kissing him softly. It only took a moment for him to get lost in thought and return the kiss, making it deeper with his hands on her head. Her stomach felt twisted. This was not her mate. This was not her soulmate. It made her stomach upset. But she forced her feelings down and began unbuttoning his shirt. As he laid her on the bed and took off her shirt, she heard a wild growl from somewhere. The man was thrown off her, and she could hear him screaming in pain. She felt blood cover her skin, and she jumped. She heard a loud soft cry, and then a heavy thud. Wait, she knew that soft cry. Tala. She answered with a painful soft cry. Isabella fell to her knees, trying to find her guide dog. The door swung open, and she jumped. Isabella. Damien. She felt his arms wrap around her middle, and she knew then that it was him. Is she okay? Is Tala okay? He did not answer. 23. 22 weeks passed. Isabella painfully closed her eyes, hearing her beloved dog make soft, sad sounds. She was told Tala attacked the man who tricked his way into her home. The fight left Tala very badly hurt. Ever since, Tala had been at the animal hospital, and Isabella refused to leave her side. Damien stood by the door, watching Isabella cry into her hands once again. She had no body wounds, but her sad feelings were far worse. He had promised her nothing would hurt her again. He was made a liar. Tala's future was very bad, but Isabella insisted she received the best care possible. The man who attacked you was a helper leader of an enemy pack, he explained, walking into the room. He stood behind her chair and watched as she leaned her head against his stomach. I thought there was a day decided for when the fighting would begin. There was. They broke it. Do you think they will try something else again? Maybe they have something planned, but it will not get that far. How can you be sure? He kissed the top of her head. I just am. Hannah has woken up. She turned in her seat quickly. Can I see her? My mother is coming to take you to her, he said with a soft nod. There was a gentle knock on the door, and Damien looked at Serafina with a loving gaze. Sweetheart, are you ready? I cannot leave Tala. I will stay with her, he said firmly. She hesitated to stand up, needing a little help from Damien. Serafina carefully grabbed her hand, leading her out of the room. Damien sighed, walking around the bed where the half-wolf lay, not moving. He ran his rough hand through her fur, wrapping behind her ear. Her leg twitched, and he smiled. You better not pass away, pup. His heart felt full as he heard her make a soft, angry sound in return. He stayed by her, rubbing his hand over her fur. He was tired of seeing people around him get hurt. He promised Isabella she would be safe. He could not risk this confusing war anymore. He could end it. For sure, he was not sure if it would end in his favor, but he could end it, stopping this long time of pain and chaos. He sat down again, mind-linking someone to come to this room. He would end this. Whether he lived or not. After a few minutes, a young guard came to the door. Damien allowed him in and handed him a sealed paper. Alpha? The boy asked. Take this straight to the enemy border. Wear white. Tell them it is a letter from me. But what is it, Alpha? A request, he said. Once you have given this paper, go to our friends and tell them the situation. Why you are challenging him? For this pack? Yes. With all respect, Alpha, you have a mate and babies on the way. A challenge for a leader position is one to the end of life. Go, please. And do not tell your Luna or my parents. Tell no one. Damien watched as the young male went back out of the room. He looked back at Tala, who finally blinked her eyes slowly. I guess you are all right. She kicked her leg, to which Damien grabbed it gently and stroked her fur again. Thank you for saving her. She growled softly, but he understood her command. I know, he whispered. His eyes went to her heartbeat line and saw that it had become weak. He called the animal doctor in, but all he could hear was the annoying high-pitched sound of a flat line. Isabella smiled at Hannah, who was up and walking around. Hannah was more worried about her Luna than about herself. I am fine, she said with a soft smile. Good, Hannah said. Then what is wrong? Tala is not, she continued. Hannah stayed quiet, taking her Luna into her arms. Looking behind Isabella, she saw Damien, who looked less than pleased. Isabella's world became dark and silent as Damien told her what happened. Tala was gone. Her heart stopped. Her body parts failed. She lost too much blood. Tala lost her life because of her. Tala was no longer alive because she could not protect herself. She seemed not affected at first, not caring that many other people were entering Hannah's room. Lucas watched, with doubt, as Isabella did not react. Until she did. Until her eyes filled with water. Until she became pale. I do not feel so well, she said softly as her legs gave way. Damien caught her before she hit the ground. She hung her head low and made a scoffing sound to herself as her hand touched her stomach. She felt a small quick pain under her skin. A flutter. A movement. She smiled a little through the noise and pain. Her babies were moving as her beloved dog passed away. There must have been some kind of strange twist or lesson there. After a few hours of lying down next to her mate, she finally sat up and felt his hand run through her hair. His thumb wiped her tears. "Talk to me," he whispered. "She passed away because of me." "No, Isabella." Yes, she did." "No, it was not your fault. She is part wolf, Isabella. It is in her blood to protect her pack. You, the babies, Ethan, Sophia, all of you were her family. Maybe if I could see, none of this would have happened. But then you would not have had Tala." Isabella laid her head on his shoulder as she cried. "I do not think I can sleep in this room anymore. Damien, I am so sorry, I kissed him." "I know," he said with a sad look. "But I know why you did. You are not to blame. We will move, then, Isabella. I can build us a home on our land, or find one close by, we can start again." She nodded as Damien gently rubbed her back. "She needs a goodbye ceremony. She was a good dog. And an even better wolf. It could rain. She was sure of it. She could smell it." The sounds of loud calls through the sky made her skin feel strange, even though she knew it was a sign of honor. She was told the whole pack had come to honor Tala. Good. She deserved that. She could not see the special box or Tala, who lay in it. She could not see the people around her. She could not see anything. Just blackness. Damien must have laid a flower down because his arm wrapped around her again. She knew someone was lowering the wooden box into the ground, but it did not matter. Tala would live on in memory. She liked to think that Tala was in some kind of wolfy heaven. That she was running in a field of red flowers, doing what she loved. She liked to think that Tala found a mate and had some beautiful little puppies of her own. Did she take Tala's life? She felt like she had. Isabella turned around, walking through the field with her mate. She stopped for a second, turning her head. She did not know why. A young woman stood, a tiny piece of a memory by the tree line. She smiled softly, walking toward Isabella. She could not be seen. She was not there. She was not alive. She was lying in the ground. She rubbed her head against Isabella's, purring softly as calmness surrounded her. Isabella could feel the gentle air move through her hair. "I will be okay," she whispered. After Isabella took a few days off, she decided that her life had to continue. That did not mean that she did not cry often still. She found herself greatly missing her young dog. Isabella walked slowly through the door of the home and set down her flat bag somewhere. She could feel that someone else was around her, but she did not bother to ask. Lucas and Hannah remained quiet as they saw their alpha standing by the stairs. "Could you give us a moment?" "Of course," Hannah said. She gave Isabella a quick hug before going away somewhere with her mate. Damien cleared his throat and made his way to her, slowly. "We have not had time together lately." "We have been busy," she answered, feeling his hands gently hold her arms. "Or maybe we just forgot for a tiny moment why we are here." "What do you mean?" "Take a walk with me." "I am kind of tired, Damien." The doctor said you should get some moving. Just for a little bit. Isabella sighed, smiling softly. She missed him. She missed how they used to be. She missed when she did not have a worry in the world. Damien must have been excited because she could hear him chuckle as he grabbed her middle, taking her out of the house. When Isabella almost stumbled over the third small branch, she finally stopped and turned to her mate. Where are you taking me? Damien picked her up, lifting her off her feet. She giggled, resting her head on his chest. I thought the point of this walk was to exercise. Yeah, well, you are a little bit of a clumsy person. Isabella pretended to be hurt, hitting his arm. You are wrong, she started, I am a big clumsy person. Besides, we can find other ways to exercise. Was that a hinting remark? He answered with a chuckle as he carried her through his pack's land. They must have gotten to the wished-for place because he warned her that he would be putting her down. She landed with a louder than usual thud on her feet. She could hear something swish in the wind, but it was only when Damien pulled her into his lap that she realized it was a soft cover. Her eyes widened with a smile. A meal outside? I am not the best cook, so I asked my mom to pack something for us. She placed her hand on his with a small smile. She could tell he was a little nervous about whether she would like it. I love it. This is really sweet. Wait, I am not done yet. She could hear something turn on, and her grin widened as the beginning part of her favorite movie started. You did not rent Breaking Dawn. Of course not. I bought it. Isabella laughed, resting her head on his shoulder as he unpacked her healthy food. She groaned, pushing her green leafy vegetable around in her plate. I cannot wait until I can eat normally again. You can eat normally. Just no coffee, no raw fish food, no bad quick foods, no milk that has not been heated, and no strong drink. And yet why can I smell a raw fish roll? Damien nervously put down his wrapped food. Well, I can still eat good food. She smiled, taking his wrapped food and throwing it somewhere. No, my dear, if I cannot eat something, you cannot either. Harsh. Fine, then I get to gain baby carrying weight too. She laughed, shaking her head. He would never stop exercising. As the first part came to a closing, Isabella was lying on Damien's lap, listening to the movie end. He was happily feeding her chocolate-covered red berries, saying that she could break her food plan sometimes. She enjoyed the sweet taste of chocolate on her lips. Delicious, she sang out. He leaned down, kissing her. You had chocolate on your face. Emicham, that is why you kissed me. I think you should make sure it is all gone. He smiled again, kissing her. When he pulled away, he started running his hand through her hair. There was another reason why I wanted to take this walk. Why is that? She could hear something jingle, and she sat up. He grabbed her hand, and she could feel something cold land in her palm. What is this? Feel it. She opened her palm, feeling the metal piece with something attached to it. She smiled as she realized it was dog tags. She started to cry when she realized it said Tala in special bumpy writing. She immediately wrapped her arms around his shoulders, and he chuckled, catching her. You like it? I love it. See, can you put it on? She turned around, moving her hair as he strapped the neck chain around her. Do you want to know something that makes me feel better? I have lost many wolves who were my friends, but we have this belief that makes me feel better. We believe that a wolf does not pass away, they just come alive again. They are given a new body. Tala is not dead, Isabella said. She is just somewhere else. Emicham, and if she has not gotten her new body, she will. And one day, we will be somewhere, and you will just know. You will feel her again. That does make me feel better. Thank you. Lie down. Let us watch the other part. It is still warm outside, but are you cold? I am a little cold. I think you should take off your shirt and warm me up, she said, chuckling. Well, I cannot let my mate get cold, now can I? He took off his shirt and lay down again on the soft cover with his mate in his arms. And while the pain was still there, while she felt bad, while she knew things might get worse, he helped. He made pain so incredibly beautiful. As Isabella sat on their bed, listening to the sound of the TV, she felt the familiar small quick pain in her stomach. She stood up quickly and ran down the hall to Damien's workroom. She did not bother knocking, and she clearly stopped to talk, but she was so excited for him to feel. Isabella? Feel. Taking his hand, she placed it on her stomach, and he became still for a moment, feeling the light quick taps of tiny feet. His eyes brightened, and he made a soft, happy sound with excitement. They are moving. Yes. I can feel their little feet stomping on my stomach. Damien did not care that his family watched him. He laid his head on her stomach and closed his eyes. Isabella ran her hands gently through his hair. I can hear something. What? I do not know what it is. It sounds like a soft beat, a quick open and close. Isabella suddenly had a very bad head pain, and she bent herself forward with her hands on her head. 24. 28 weeks passed. Your head pains have not gotten better, have they? Isabella shook her head at Meredith. I still get them often. And you have been taking pain relief medicine? Isabella nodded as Meredith gently pushed against her stomach. Then I am afraid laying down and resting is probably the best answer. I have work. I cannot stay in bed all day. I am afraid your time away for the baby starts now. Keep taking the pain relief medicine, but if your head pains get worse or do not stop, come back, and we will see what else we can do. Keep drinking clear water and do less of the moving activities you take part in. Isabella sighed softly as another quick memory of Tala filled her mind as Damien drove them back. Isabella closed her eyes again as sharp pain spread through her head. Seeing her discomfort, Damien put a gentle hand on her leg. We can stop to get more medicine. No, it is okay. I will get through it. He stopped anyway and picked up some sweet brown treat to make her feel better. When they got back, he lay with her as her head hurt. Sitting up, she groaned. It really hurts. I know, I am sorry, he whispered, rubbing her back. He took her back into his arms and lay down. Eventually, she fell asleep in his arms, and Damien stayed. As Isabella turned in the bed, Damien woke up. He sat up and got out of bed, putting on some leg coverings to go get some pain relief for her. She quickly sat up as she heard the door close. She yawned and rubbed her eyes, the light was so bright coming through the seeing places. She wondered why Damien never closed the window covers. Her heart leaped in her chest. Her head swung to her hands, looking closely at their dark skin. She forgot what she looked like. It has been so long. How could she forget? She could see. She stood up quickly, too quickly as she became dizzy. She smiled, and only two desires filled her. The second was to see herself. Did she still have small dark spots? Did she look different? Were her eyes the same color? What about her teeth? Her hair? But the first need, the need that almost made her stop breathing, was to see him. The man who loved her even when she was hurt. The man who never left her broken side. She did not change out of her sleep clothes. She rushed to the door, throwing it open. Hannah was down the hall and heard the loud noise. She came out of her room, seeing Isabella practically run to her. Mari. Hannah. Oh, Hannah, you are so lovely. I did not know you were so beautiful. Not to say that I thought you were not pretty, it is just that. Lucas stepped out of their room, rubbing his head sleepily. What is happening? Lucas. I thought you looked different. But this different is good. It is a good different. What the heck is happening? Lucas asked his mate. Where is Damien? Downstairs. Before he could finish, she was already gone, running heavily down the stairs. She passed through the living room and then dining room, and as she made her way to the entrance of the food-making room, she suddenly stopped. What if he did not look like what she thought he did? What if, forget that, he was Damien? He was her mate. She took a breath, walking in. He started to speak, but not before she ran to him, and gasped as she saw his bright eyes. Her hands gently ran over his face. Tears flowed down her face as he stood there, just watching her. Isabella? Damien, she whispered. You can see me. She nodded. You can see me, he repeated again, dropping the glass onto the floor. He pulled her close to him, kissing her. She pulled away shortly, just because she wanted to look closely at him. You are so handsome. I am glad you think so. See, can we go to the park? And watch all the Twilight movies? Oh, and meet your parents again. And go to the picture place, maybe. Oh my goodness, could we go to a shop and look at things for the baby's room? And cute baby clothes and... Yes, he said firmly. He pulled her in for another kiss. But we should visit the doctor again, this time a doctor who knows a lot about wolf people. Shouldn't we figure out what is happening first? What if something is wrong? He could see Isabella's excitement fade, and it almost broke his heart. He walked away from her, going to the cold box for food. He took off something and walked back. I will call the doctor, but while we wait, would you like to see their baby picture? She bit her lip to hide her excitement. She grabbed the photo and ran a gentle finger over its edge. It is funny. They are so tiny, but already I could not imagine. I know. Me too. You know, I doubt the doctor could be here anytime soon. Do you want to look at names? Damien grabbed her hand as she eagerly nodded. She could not hear what he said because she was too busy looking at the side of his face. He was even more beautiful than what she imagined. His jawline could cut air, and his hair was so dark, it looked perfect against his pale skin. She was darker than him. His perfect lips were moving, but she did not answer until he turned to look at her. She blushed, moving her gaze. You are staring. Sorry. Do not be, he said, I do it too, but you do not catch me. What about Vladimir? We are not naming our child Vlad, she said with a grin. He pushed himself away from his desk and went to sit next to her. He pulled her into his lap, and she giggled, tracing the shape of his lips. She leaned forward, kissing him. What about Damien, the second and third? Nope. What, you do not like my name? I did not say that. Well, what names do you like? What about Isaac? No, he said, shaking his head. I knew an alpha with that name. Was he bad? He slept with my mom. Isabella made a gagging sound and nodded. All right, no Isaac. She went back to thinking before shouting again. Ezra? Not bad. Not bad. Let us keep it on the list. You do know we not only have to choose one name but 2 boy names and 1 girl name? We are never going to agree. Then I guess we will just have to call the girl F01 and the boys M02 and 03. Who do you think we are? Elon Musk? He laughed, rolling his eyes. Weston? She looked at him, now rolling her eyes. No. Why? One of their names will not be Weston. Damien grabbed her hand. She looked at him, confused. What? You are going to give them my last name? Isabella wiggled in her spot. Well, yes. But I thought you said, why do our kids have to have your last name, as if I was the one to carry them? And I still feel that way. In any other circumstances, they would have my last name. What is different now? Nothing is different now than before. I always thought they would have your name. Then. Because my last name is bad. It is stained by bad treatment, by strong drinking that never stops, and other bad traits. Our kids do not deserve my terrible last name and its story. I do not want to steal their lives. Giving them your last name is not stealing anything. It has no blood or natural meaning. The only thing it does is mark our family past and act as a way to tell who someone is. Exactly, she said. They do not need anything connecting him to them. And besides, there is only one thing I want to steal. And what is that? Your last name. He smiled, laughing as she rested her head against his. I think you will be successful with that. After a short break, he spoke again. What about Rose? For the girl? No, I meant for the bee, of course, I mean the girl. Isabella. Rose, maybe we could put in a lilac at some point? I like it, she whispered. But what about Rosalind or Rosalina? Let us put it on the list. What about Long John? Damien rolled his eyes. Absolutely not. Oh, come on. It is a good name. He stood up, hearing a car come down the long road to the house. He reached for her hand, and she took it, following him down the stairs and into the living room where the rest of the pack was waiting. Because we are not naming our pup after my dad. But why? It is a pretty good name, she said with a grin. She looked over at Serafina, who stood next to her mate. It is a strong alpha's name, she joked. Damien rolled his eyes again. Isabella watched as a young man entered through the door with a doctor's white coat on. Alpha and Luna, it is a pleasure to meet you. I am Dr. Callahan, but people call me Cal for short. Isabella and Damien both smiled in return and thanked him for his quick arrival. Congratulations on not one but 3 babies. Luna is going to have her hands full for the next few months, that is for sure. But I listened to your voice message, and there seems to be something else happening. I suggest we look at a baby picture first, do a checkup, and then we can talk about the other things happening. Is that all right with you, Luna? Isabella nodded. And I hope that it is okay if I do the checkup myself, Alpha? I do have to touch your mate, but it is purely for healing. Of course. Do what is needed. Excellent. Do you have a place you like best? Somewhere we can take a look. We have a healing place part of the house, Damien said, showing the way. Isabella followed her mate down the hall and to the left, where she was able to sway her way to the table. She could not get up by herself, so Damien gently lifted her. Thanks, she whispered. Luna, if you can pull up your shirt. She nodded, gently pulling it up. She winced at the purple lines running up her stomach. She never knew how large and hurt she had gotten. They tend to disappear, Dr. Callahan said to comfort her. You can use some smooth liquids to make them disappear quicker. From how it looks, you seem to be at the correct size for a woman carrying 3 babies. Really? I feel like a big pregnant animal. He laughed, turning on the machine and putting on soft hand covers. I am afraid the discomfort will just get worse. Exercise and rest can make you feel a lot better. I also suggest getting a special pillow for pregnant women. Isabella smiled at him and laid back down. As he placed the clear gooey stuff on her stomach, she looked at him. Had she not been able to see, she would not have guessed he was older than his voice sounded. He sounded lively, quick even, but his brown hair was turning gray. His beard was even more gray. His eyes, while full of hope, held something in them she could not understand. He had some small lines around his eyes and smile lines, but besides that, he was handsome. Damien growled, and she looked at him with doubt. Sorry, Cal said rather shyly. Not your fault, Damien said. What is not? She asked. Your heart rate went up when you were looking at him. We could hear it. What are you saying, Damien? Her eyes grew wide, and he looked back at the doctor. Oh no, I am not. I was not looking at you in that way or anything. I mean, I think you are good looking, she flinched from Damien's growl. But Damien is my mate, and I would never. It is okay, Luna. It is normal. Especially at this part of the time. What do you mean? During the last 3 moon turns, women tend to be wanting to do adult things. She finished. Well, I was going to say full of excitement, but yes, he laughed. Isabella relaxed again as the baby picture machine turned on. She smiled as she saw their little feet pressed against her stomach, and their little faces pushed against her womb. For some reason, she looked toward the partly open door and saw a little boy hiding behind the wall, curious. She smiled at him and waved him in. Hesitantly, he walked in and came to her side. What is your name? I am Cooperland, Luna. My name is Isabella. I know, Luna, he said. Are those the babies? She nodded. Dr. Cal, would you mind explaining what all those numbers on the side mean? I would love to. Isabella and Damien let the boy stay and learn all he wanted until they had to talk about her sight. She sat up after wiping the sticky stuff off her. Sadly, Luna, I believe the reason why your eyesight returned is because of your little babies. They have wolf person blood and somehow fixed or made better or went around your injury. And that is bad? It means that while there is a chance that they healed you completely, there is also the chance that once you give birth, your sight will go away again. 25. 28 weeks passed. Isabella had not been able to read, truly read, in years. She forgot how much she enjoyed the smell of old paper and how the words could build pictures in her head. Of course, she could read special bumpy writing before, but it was not quite the same. Ever since she had lost her sight, she gave up reading for fun. But now? She wanted to enjoy all the things she missed while she could. Sitting on the window seat in the living room, yes, a window seat she did not know they had, she could feel a hand gently touch her back. She looked at the arm and then smiled at the blue lines that stood out under his skin. Strangely, it made her feel excited. She looked up at him, staring a bit longer, taking him in as he would disappear soon. Well, in fact, he would. She would not be able to see his beautiful dark eyes or short beard once her babies were born. She tried to ignore that. Tried to focus on the right now. The happiness she felt from seeing again. Are you okay? She nodded. Yes, why? He walked toward her feet, sitting down. I thought what the doctor said might have made you sad. I am not. I figured out that my eyesight had something to do with being pregnant with wolf baby children. She smiled at him, noticing his dark leg coverings and dark blue shirt. She swallowed, noticing how his shirt held tight against his shoulders. She was drawn to him before she could see him. His way of being made him the most attractive man to her. But after seeing him, she had to say she would pounce on him if she could. Wait, could she? So, what do you say? She shook her head, confused. Huh? I asked if you wanted to go buying things. For the babies, I mean, and something else. Oh, yes. I would love to. Should we invite the others too? I know your mom wanted to help pick colors, and Hannah wanted to buy clothes for pregnant women. My clothes are getting so tight on me. We can ask them. Where are they? Can I ask them myself? They are at their house. They have their own home? Yes, but it is very close. We can walk. Isabella immediately stood and put her book into her bag. She practically grabbed his hand and pulled him out of the house. She smiled as they walked through the path. I did not realize that you really do live in a big group of trees. Does it bother you? No. It is beautiful. Would you mind living here? With me, maybe? Smiling, she shook her head, holding his hand in hers as she looked above her up into the cover of leaves. Not at all. I would live anywhere you wanted as long as you were there. While that is comforting, I want you to have a choice as well. I do, she said with strong feeling, and I choose you. Isabella looked ahead, seeing the charming small house. Stones were leading to the entrance that was lined with light holders and beautiful leaf plants. She could tell one of them worked hard on the outdoor look. As they climbed up onto the front porch, Isabella knocked. Long John opened the door. He smiled at them, especially at Isabella. Come on in. Long John, your house is so pretty. Thank you, Isabella. I take it you are enjoying being able to see again. Of course, she said, smiling. Now you really have no chance of winning against me in the checkered game. She could hear Serafina's laugh come from the food-making room where he led them. Serafina immediately jumped off her tall seat and went to Isabella, hugging her. Oh, sweetie, you are glowing. You have met Dr. Cal, right? Yes, this morning, she said firmly, seeing the doctor sitting at the central table. He stood up with a kind smile. Well, we have known him for years, you see, so we are quite close. I am so glad he was able to make it. Me too. He is really good. Yes, she agreed. Anyway, to what do we owe the pleasure? I was wondering if you would like to go baby shopping, but you are busy, I see. Actually, Dr. Callahan said. I was just about to go. Oh, you could stay for a few more hours. I want to talk about with you anyway. He nodded. Of course, then. Then it is decided, Serafina said. We can go out, get midday food, and get some shopping done. Isabella listened to Hannah and Serafina talk about something, but she drifted off, watching the trees pass by. She looked back when they drove past a sign that said, House for Show. It was in front of a light-holder mailbox that sat beside a metal gate. She could not see much, but she saw a long path leading up. Wait, could we go back? Just for a second. That house is for sale. Isabella shut her door with a broad smile, seeing tall supports leading to the front door. It was a beautiful home with a garden in the back and a circular road. It was surrounded by lovely trees that were filled with singing birds. There was a large porch that went all around, and upon entering the house, her smile grew wider. The food-making room was stylishly modern with white parts and a black wall decoration. The open space allowed her to have a view of the living room, dining room, and study. She could not help but think that this would be perfect to watch all her kids grow up in. Upstairs, there were 5 sleep rooms with one main sleep room. The main one had a connected washing place and his and her walk-in clothes rooms. Attached was a beautiful raised floor with climbing plants growing up the fence. In the back garden was an inside swimming pool and hot tub with a beautiful fence surrounding the trees. She wondered briefly how far they were from the pack. She was not paying attention. Isabella walked into the book room with a pleased grin on her face. You love it. She jumped from his voice. I will never get used to your quiet steps and wolfy feelings, she joked. It is nice, she lied. She loved it. It is outside of our land. Oh, she sighed. Well, that is okay. I did not like it that much anyway. Damien did not believe her. Walking out of the house, Damien helped her in the car, but went to talk to Lucas. After a few minutes, he came back and drove away without Lucas. Wait, what? Why is not Lucas coming? Let us just go buying things. What are you two thinking? Are all of them going to share a room until they get older? Isabella looked at Hannah, unsure. I am not sure. We never thought about it, honestly. Well, what do you prefer? Damien asked. I would like for them to share the same baby room and then have their own rooms once they get a little older. I think private space is really important once you start changing into a teenager. Then let us pick colors for the baby room, and we could talk about the rest later. Do you know which room you would like for them? Something close to us in the pack house. Maybe down the hall? I have to look at the empty rooms. I do not think I want a lot of white. When I lose my eyesight, I will be a huge clumsy person again. And besides, babies make messes, and white is so hard to clean. What about splitting their baby room into 3 parts? The girl could be in the middle, and the 2 boys on the end. The boys' walls could have one color, while the wall behind the girl's baby room could be a special color. You two have not picked out names yet? No, she said. Well, I think Hannah is pretty, Hannah joked. So, what colors? I do not know. What do you think, Damien? Damien was far too busy talking with his dad and Dr. Cal to hear what she asked. She rolled her eyes with a small smile. She grabbed some paint samples before the ladies walked out and went into another shop to get more clothes for pregnant women. Isabella almost started crying when she knew she was too big for many things. Once picking out some clothes, they went to eat midday food. She was extremely hungry. When the food bringer came, she could not hide her hunger anymore. "Can I get your chicken pasta with a side of fried potato sticks and a baked potato? And oh, could I get the cheesy macaroni with some crunchy chips? I will also have a bubbly drink." "Caffeine, Isabella," Damien scolded. "Oh, come on, let the girl live. She can have a little caffeine." "No, he is right. I will just get a hot leaf drink, then. But could I also have a piece of flat bread with some of those garlic knot things?" Isabella finished her order and looked around the table, seeing everyone's eyes on her. "What? Hungry, Isabella?" Hannah asked, grinning. "Starving. She is eating for 4, he reminded, wrapping his arm around her shoulders. "What about this eggshell yellow with this green? Looks like throwing up." "Ugh, Damien." He smiled, climbing on the bed to kiss her. "It is up to you. I do not care." "Well, if you do not care, can we name one of the boys Long John?" "Absolutely not. You know, I think we could see these colors better if we went to the room." Before she could say anything, Damien pulled her off the bed and down the hall, where he laid a soft, fluffy cover down. She quickly knew that this was the room they had decided to make the baby room. He laid down, and she laid on his chest, looking up at the top of the room. "It is going to make a great baby room. We could put the baby beds against that wall with that solid color and then put the diaper changing table by the windows for natural light." "You are excited," he whispered, playing with her hair. "And you are not." "I am. This is just the first time I have seen such excitement from you." "I am excited. I am just so excited to have your babies." He smiled at her, gently touching her back. "You are beautiful." She smiled in return as she looked away. "And maybe we could spell their names above their baby beds? I always thought that was just so cute. Have you told your parents yet?" She looked back at him. She did not know where that question came from. "They do not know." "Why have you not told them?" "I do not talk to them much." "You talk to your mom every day. You send her messages to make sure she is okay." "It has never been brought up." "She does not know about me?" "Us?" "She knows about you. She just does not know how serious our relationship is." He nodded, pulling her back to lay down. "What about Juliana?" "Oh, that is pretty. Let us keep that on the list. You know, we never actually wrote down these names. If we forget about them, then they were not that good to us." Okay, we need to choose one name for now, and then we can worry about the rest. Let us start with one of the boys. That way at least one is done. I think the girl's name will be simple enough. Kingston. Kingston Weston. Sound like the name from that tying up book. No, that was Christian. Oh. What about Christ? No, we are not naming our child after someone who likes to hurt others. She looked up at him. You know, I read this one book before. It was a werewolf story. Anyway, of course, the girl was the mate of the Alpha King or something, but they ended up taking care of about 15 kids. Let me be clear, we will never have 15 kids. Oh, totally agree. She was like 19 too. A little too much to believe if you ask me. Anyway, there were a few boy names that I really liked. I really remember Eris. I liked that name. It was short for Aristotle. We can keep that on the list. What about Nyx? Like the Greek flowing water? Yeah. I like Greek names. Wait, I thought Nyx was a girl's name? I thought she was the goddess of night. Do you really think people will look up our baby's name? I think it is for both boys and girls. What about Uranus? He said with a grin. Do you want our children to be picked on before their birth? I would like someone to try to pick on my kids. I would beat them up. Even better, I would have Lucas change and scare them very badly. She laughed, rolling her eyes. Wait, what is your middle name? I do not have one. Wolf people do not give them. Yours is beautiful. How do you? She stopped realizing. My papers, right. Why do you ask? Do you want our kids to have middle names? No, it is all right. That is just more names to decide. Isabella sat back up, stretching her arms. My back is starting to hurt. Let us get that pillow the doctor was talking about. That should help. For now, why do I not make you a water bath and put your favorite song on repeat with your favorite candles and bubbles like you enjoy? I will even put that book you have not finished reading in too. That sounds great, she said with a smile. But why did you not say you would take one with me? Because Hannah once told me, sometimes a girl just wants to wash her hair in quiet. Isabella leaned down to kiss him. Not this girl. Good, he answered. There is just one thing you have to do for me, though. And that was how she ended up in the bath, surrounded by bubbles with the song, Pony, playing with Damien slowly taking off his clothes. She laughed as he moved his hips. He smiled, stopping. This is silly, he laughed. I am not a dance performer. Wrong, sir, you are my dance performer now. Please do me the honor and take off your clothes. He continued, and as the song finished, he came into the bath, rubbing his hands down her stomach. She relaxed in his arms, enjoying how his hands felt on her skin. She grinned, feeling a sharp flutter. He smiled, kissing her cheek. I think they like when you are close by. Really? You think they know? She nodded. I read in a baby book that tiny babies can make connections with certain sounds or smells. Maybe their senses are already stronger because of your genes. Maybe, he answered, focused on how her stomach twitched from their movements. It really does not hurt? Not usually. I mean, sometimes they kick my ribs, and that is a pain, but I would take this over that sickness any day. He played with her hands as he looked over her large stomach. She had grown greatly within the last few weeks to the point where she now struggled to stand on her own or walk normally, but she was still beautiful, even with her stretch marks and swollen blue lines. We never finished the birth plan, you know. Oh right. I completely forgot. We have to have them at the healing places, which I am glad. It makes me feel much safer to be there. I will get a pain-numbing shot no matter what because I will have a cut delivery. I would like you to cut the baby cord, and during the hard work of giving birth, I would not mind having your parents, Lucas, Hannah, and Ethan in the room, but not the entire pack. I do not mind if they visit, though. I just do not want them to see me in pain. What about your surroundings? Want any music? Things that make you feel better? Music would be nice. Some soft, new music. I could make a list of songs. And do you want it recorded? Well, maybe. Maybe not all of it, we do not need to scare anyone with that. Do you think Hannah would? If you would ask, I am sure. She is very excited, as is my mother. What about positions for giving birth? I would like walking a little or bouncing on a big exercise ball. Lying on the side would be good too. I hate the hands to knees position, so none of that. Anything else? Yeah, I am going to use many bad words, please do not be upset. I think the hard work of 3 births allows for rough language. We should pack our hospital bags soon, and I already asked my mother to get meals ready for you for when you are home. Oh, and I think we should watch a birth video. No. No? Yeah, no. I want to be excited about starting the birth process, not scared very badly. As Damien lay beside her, Isabella fiddled with her fingers. She was pretty sure he was asleep, but she was hungry and a little lazy. Besides, she was carrying little babies, maybe it was all right. She turned in her spot and gently tapped his cheek. Nothing. He did not even twitch. She sighed, sometimes, He would wake up if her breathing changed, but not now. Silly. She wanted, what did she want? Small chicken fried bits? Pickled cucumbers? Stacked potato chips? Oh, stacked potato chips sounded good. But you know what sounded better? Cold sweet dessert, and fast food tacos. With a naughty smile, she got out of bed and walked downstairs into the food-making room. With her hand on her back, she searched through the things in the cold box, picking out sweet baked goods and cream-cold dessert. She wobbled to the tall table and somehow got herself up to eat it right from the container. She took out her phone and brought up a food delivery app, seeing if they were still working at 2 in the morning. Yes, she shouted happily, realizing they still were. She ordered her favorite 3 soft, fancy tacos with crunchy chips and mashed avocado dip, except she ordered 6 soft tacos and 2 chips with extra mashed avocado dip. After placing her order, she put the cold sweet dessert away and wobbled into the living room to get her outside coat. She did not want the food delivery man to ring the door sound and wake everyone. She sat outside for a few minutes until the car came up, and the food delivery man handed her the order. You are pregnant, right? Do you think I am naturally this big? I thought I would ask to be kind. She smiled. Yes, I am pregnant. That explains such a large order. She gave him a bored look. Small advice, my friend, just give the pregnant woman her food and step back before she kills you about saying how much she is eating. She took the bag and went back inside. She took off her coat and hung it back up. She decided that she was getting sleepy and would just eat in bed. As she made her way down the hall, she passed Lucas and Hannah's open door. She was curious and peeked in. What a mistake. Oh my goodness. What, is that even a position? She asked, covering her eyes from the sight. Lucas must have gotten out of bed because he was breathing hard as he wrapped the bed cover around him. This whole seeing thing? I no longer want it. I will never forget that. Next time, close the door. What are you even doing up? Hannah asked. Isabella shyly held her taco fast food bag up. I was hungry. She smiled gently, pulling the door shut. Oh, and Hannah, I did not know you were so bendy. Were you a mover of bodies? I did cheering when I was in high school. Could you tell? Totally. Ah, thanks, Luna. Okay, you two get back to it. I am going to go. Before Isabella could shut the door, her eyes met the small table at the side and saw a sweet cream cake. Are you going to eat that? Lucas chuckled as he grabbed the sweet treat and handed it to her. Okay, now I go. She shut the door, then realized that she had another question. She definitely did not want to open that door again. Hey, Hannah. Yes? Isabella laughed at Hannah's voice, losing patience. Would you record my baby delivery? Right now, Isabella, I would wash you in the bath just for you to go back to bed. Is that a yes? Yes. Okay. Good night. Do not be silly, eat the see-you. Isabella. I am just saying. Isabella walked into her room with a happy smile. She sat back down on the bed and began eating her late-night snack. What the heck are you doing? She looked over at Damien. I got hungry. So, you ordered fast food tacos? Yes, and I used your card too, sir. Is there a problem? He held his hands up in defeat as he sat up. He reached for one of her tacos, and she slapped his hands. There is only enough for the 4 of us. 26. Where the heck is my talking device? Isabella sighed with much upset as she looked in the soft sitting place. Damien came down the stairs quickly after finishing a meeting. What is wrong? I cannot find my talking device. Sweetheart, he said, grabbing her hand. It is truly in your hand. She looked at her hand, and surely enough, saw her talking device. He thought she would feel better, but instead, water filled her eyes. I am so silly. How could I forget? Come here, he said, pulling her into a warm hug. It is okay. It was just a small mistake. I am sorry. I am so sorry. Isabella, it is okay. As she cried into his arms, he smiled to himself, shaking his head. Her feelings had been jumping all over the place lately, but he tried to be as understanding as possible. She was carrying 3 little wolf people. She was also much bigger than last week, which they were told was perfectly normal. Her back was bent, and her hand was always on her side to hold herself up. The twist in her back was wild, but there were great moments of being uncomfortably carrying babies. Damien got her that special sleeping pillow, and it helped a lot with resting as she could not sleep on her stomach or back anymore. Dr. Harper wanted her to carry the 3 babies as close to 40 weeks as she could. She told the pair that most likely, Isabella would start the baby coming process before their planned cut delivery, which was on the 30th day of November. It is a nice fall day. Would you like to have a big outdoor meal with the pack? She nodded through her tears. Yeah, that would be nice. It only took 1 hour for the entire pack to gather and begin cooking on the hot metal cooker. It was the start of September now. It was not as warm as the summer months, and she was so thankful. She was always so hot lately. Damien held her hand as she wobbled outside. He laid out a soft cloth and helped her sit before telling her he had to go help cook the round meat patties. She smiled at him as he left and smiled at a few women who came to sit with her. She had to admit, she thought the pack would not be as kind to someone like her as Luna, but they were all good to her. How are you feeling, Luna? Claire, a young woman from the pack, sat down on the soft cloth with her very new baby. I am okay. Actually, I am so uncomfortable, she said honestly. I know it is hard the closer you get to the baby coming process, but do not worry, as soon as you have them, you are going to forget all the pain. How far along are you? I am 28 weeks now. You look wonderful. Thank you, she smiled. She looked down at the little baby wrapped in her soft cloth. Isabella gently touched her tiny hand. She is beautiful, Claire. Has she been sleeping through the night? No, not at all. Ashton and I are very tired, but we could not turn down a good round meat patty. We will probably leave soon. Claire watched as Isabella stared down at her baby girl in her arms. She chuckled softly. Would you like to hold her? Oh, no, it is okay. You will not hurt her, I promise. It would be good practice. What if she cries? She might, Claire answered with a small laugh. That is what babies do, but that does not mean you are doing anything wrong. If it makes you feel better, your babies will have a special bond with you and Damien. Oh, thank goodness, I am so worried. We were too. But after you almost dropped them a few times, your worries tend to get less. Isabella laughed with Claire as she gently moved the baby into her arms. The little girl wiggled but went right back to sleep. What a natural. Have you decided on a name? We like Marigold. Isabella looked at Claire with a strange look. Too close to your name? I like it, the Luna answered. Marigold is beautiful. What about you and Alpha? Have you chosen any baby names? No, we cannot agree. I am starting to think we may just need to call them Thing 1, 2, and 3. As Isabella finished, Marigold began making soft crying sounds in her arms. Claire took her daughter and went into the baby bag. She is probably getting hungry. Do you mind if I feed her milk here? No, not at all. Feed that baby. Isabella felt something wet on her chest, and she looked down, seeing 2 wet spots near her milk-making parts. Claire laughed, saying sorry. I think you are making milk. Oh, great, she said in a mocking way. When does it stop? When you finish feeding milk. Will you excuse me? I need to go change my clothes. Of course, Luna. Isabella wobbled to her left and then right, but struggled getting to her feet. As she saw Lucas standing a few meters away, she called out to him. Hey Lucas. Could you do me a kindness and help me up? He grinned as he walked over, pulling her to her feet. Better? Much. Can you tell Damien I went to go change my clothes? He nodded, and she slowly walked back into the house and up to their room. As she pulled the light dress over her head, she felt a sharp, strong pain in her stomach. She leaned over, grabbing her stomach. It felt like monthly pains. Oh darn, she whispered. These were practice pains. It was too soon to start the baby coming process, and they were too weak. But they did hurt. She wobbled to her bed, leaning over the edge, breathing through the pain. When it got less, she walked back outside and sat down. Damien handed her a round meat patty and crunchy chips and sat down beside her with a few other protectors from their pack. Once she was finished, she started to get up. Where are you going? To throw my dish away. I will do it. As he stood up, someone shouted that they should play a game of American football. Damien agreed, throwing the dish away. He helped Isabella to her feet and picked up the soft cloth to move her closer to where they would be playing. Hannah sat next to her as some pack members started kicking the ball. Damien was the main thrower while Lucas quickly ran down the playing area. They played football with full touching, which she was very excited about, but knew that it was perfectly safe for them. About 20 minutes in, Damien must have gotten hot and took off his shirt. She literally could feel her undergarments become wet from the sight of his sweaty chest and strong, shaped muscles. Her eyes never left his body. His arms stretched out, showing his big arm muscles as he threw the football down the playing area. Goodness gracious. That was hers. He was hers. Isabella? Huh? Claire and Hannah laughed. We asked if you want your kids to go to a higher learning place. Oh, come on, Hannah, she was too focused on her mate to listen to us. Well, look at him. He is stunning. Wait, do not look at him. Hannah and Claire shared a known look. I know that feeling, Claire said. During my last 3 moon turns, I was wanting adult closeness all the time. Poor Ashton. I am sure if you told Damien, he would stop playing. But he is having fun, she said. Believe me, he would have way more fun with you. He looked at her then and gave a quick, knowing eye closure, which sent her baby-making parts into high gear. She cleverly moved her way to her feet and walked onto the playing area where everyone immediately stopped playing. Hitting a pregnant Luna with a football or pushing down a pregnant Luna was not a good idea. Are you okay? She nodded at Damien, grabbing his hand. Could you come with me for a second? I just have to talk to you about something. Of course, hey, Ashton. Take my place. As soon as they entered the pack house, she tried to push him against the door, kissing him with a loud sound while her hands found his waist holder. He smiled against her lips. Isabella? These baby-making feelings have me all wanting adult closeness. Want to do adult things? Her lips gently moved down his neck, sucking with much desire against his skin. She pulled away when he did not answer. She could hit herself. Oh, goodness, I am sorry. You are new to this. This should not be how you lose it. I should have thought. Yes. What? Yes. She watched, confused, as he opened the door and waited. Lucas walked up the front steps. You wanted me? Make sure no one enters this house. What, why? Lucas looked past him and to Isabella, who looked like she wanted to eat him alive. He laughed. It is about time, but darn, Serafina is going to win. Win what? Lucas just shut the door again with a knowing smile. Damien turned back to Isabella, and for a second, neither moved. Isabella held out her hand, and he took it, practically pulling her through the living room. Her foot coverings fell off on the floor, his necktie came off on the soft sitting place, and somehow he got her upper undergarment off even before he pulled her to their sleep room door. Wow, she breathed out as her back hit the bed. That was... Yeah, she chuckled. Are you sure that was your first time? Of course, it was. Good for you. Really. Brilliantly done. That thing you did with your tongue? Keep that. It was my first time too. Isabella, you told me you were not new to this. She grinned, getting out of bed. I was not talking about adult things. She walked into their washing room completely without clothes and turned on the falling water. She could feel his seeds slowly drip down her upper legs, and it was not exactly comfortable. It was very hot, though. Are you taking a falling water bath? Yes, she yelled back to him. Why? He scratched the back of his head, watching her. I mean, the pack is still outside, and I am still hard. She pressed her lips together for a second before turning off the falling water and going back to their sleep room. She gave a quick eye closure. Want to do it on the floor? Of course, yes, he answered like a kid in a candy shop as he jumped out of bed, truly. She was sore as she walked downstairs with Damien. Most of their friends were already waiting in the living room. Isabella turned pale as Damien's mother lifted her silky soft undergarment off the soft sitting place. Pay up. Huh? Isabella asked, confused. Everyone in the room took out their money holders, and Lucas grumbled as he handed her money. Wait, you gambled on our. I said you would jump each other once you found out you were pregnant, Hannah said. I lost. Yeah, and I said you would have adult things months after having the babies, Lucas grumbled. Some others said times in between, but I said you would have adult things at moon turn 7, Serafina commented. Isabella blushed, hiding her face in her hands. 27. When Ethan walked into the pack house, he could truly feel the tightness. Damien was standing behind the soft sitting place with his arms stretched over the front with his head down. Hannah and Lucas were sitting on the long seat while Damien's mother and father stood by the fire spot. Ethan was about to say hello to them when he saw Isabella pulling a small bag over her shoulder. He ran to the stairs, taking the bag. Oh my goodness, you are huge. Oh my goodness, so are you, she answered. Are you calling me big? He said, pretending to be angry. She smiled at him, throwing herself into his arms. He almost fell, but he enjoyed the warm hug. It had been many months since they had seen each other in person. Once Damien began taking his jobs as protector and Isabella went on leave for her baby, Ethan booked a trip on an airplane to the closest warm, wet country. He stayed there until he had to return to his learning place. Let us go, please, she whispered. She kept her head down until she got to the door. She did not want to go back to her home. She did not know what condition it was in after the bad happening. I will be staying at Ethan's tonight. I would say send your people, but we both already know I am not the one in danger. She turned and left the room. What the heck did you do, man? Ethan rubbed the back of his head, wanting nothing more than to get away from the uncomfortable situation. He cleared his throat. I will take care of her. Ethan opened his mouth in surprise as she went to the car and pulled the door open herself. I knew you could see, but I did not know how strange it would be seeing you see, if that makes sense. He went to the driver's seat, getting in. As soon as his door closed, Isabella began crying very hard in his car. Oh goodness, is this like baby feelings or real sadness? I do not know what to do, Isabella. Tell me what to do. Oh goodness, do you think the babies are also crying, like in your stomach? Isabella waved at him to drive, and he listened, pulling out of the driveway. So? What happened? He asked after a few minutes of quiet. Remember how Damien is a wolf person? No, Isabella, he said without feeling. I totally forgot that a human turned into a giant wolf while I was in short sleep clothes. He decided to agree to a leader's fight. What the heck is that? It sounds like a silly dance from a video app. Isabella laughed, wiping her nose. Someone from another pack killed a young boy from his. His name was Gavin. They kept coming into our land and eventually said they wanted a fight for our northern land. Why do your words keep changing when you talk about who owns things? What do you mean? His, ours, sounds like you have a mix-up about who you are. Yeah, I do not know. I want to be a part of his life. I want. I want to be what they keep saying I am. But I feel like they just call me their Luna because they are supposed to, not because they feel like I am. Goodness, what happened today? He agreed to his fight. It is a fight instead of a big war. If he wins, he keeps the North and gets Pat Geifer's land. What if he loses? The fight is until one dies. If he loses, it means he died. This is some heavy stuff, Isabella. I have to say, 1 week ago I was sitting in the sun on a bare beach, and coming home to this is not great. Yeah, she whispered softly. And Lucas and Hannah, I thought they were my friends. But they never told you, did they? No. Their trust and loyalty are to their alpha. Isabella, you do know it is normal? I mean, if I had to choose between Damien and you, I would always choose you. He sighed, seeing her sad face. But I am not in the pack, which means during these types of arguments, he has people behind him, but you do not. He shrugged as he continued driving. You know what you have to do then? You have to find friends in the pack that were not friends with Damien first. Ethan pulled the car into his stopping place outside of his living place and got out. He helped her out and walked her into his house, taking off his coat and setting his keys in the bowl next to his door. I forgot what a man's special room this was. Oh my goodness, I forgot about that ball game machine you had. I have all the newest electric things. Go wild. Play all you want. Enjoy your night away from your only one, he joked. I am going to watch a moving picture. Do you want some grape drink? She gave him a look. He shrugged. Just asking. I will make popped corn, you can eat that, right? Around 2 in the morning, Sophia finally came over after a night of celebrating with her friends. All three talked for a while, making fun of Ethan's adventures and Sophia's silly drunk stories. Isabella had fun. She missed her closest friends. Ever since she started going out with Damien, she hardly saw them. It was not their fault or even Damien's. She just became much more busy and forgetful. Isabella stopped laughing suddenly and stood up. Oh my goodness, I just had a little wet accident. I will be back. She wobbled to the washing room and returned to her friends, who were making fun of her. Guys, I want to get bigger chest parts, Sophia said. Oh, goodness, Ethan laughed, drinking the rest of his grape drink. Darn, there is no more room on the table. Lay back, Isabella. What, why? Isabella rolled her eyes as Ethan placed his glass on her stomach, acting as if it was a flat place. You are a rude person. Stop talking, you are moving too much. You are going to drop it. They fell asleep around 4, watching a fun TV show about dressing up. She had to admit that she had gone way off her eating plan and ate a lot of unhealthy food she probably should not have. She had a lot of fun until the sharp sound of her talking device ringing woke her up. She groaned, rolling onto her side to reach for her talking device. Sophia was sleeping on the long seat while she and Ethan made a bed on the floor. Hello? Isabella. She sat up immediately, rubbing her eyes. Mom? Isabella could hear something break in the background of her mother's loud cries. I am tired, Isabella, she whispered softly. I want to be brave, like you. How badly did he hurt you? Isabella quickly got up, putting on her foot coverings, and changing her clothes. She went to the door, seeing Ethan's keys. She knew then that she had not driven in years, and it was probably a bad idea to start again today. She went into Ethan's room, waking him up. At first, he woke up with some clever answer, but then he saw her serious face and asked what was wrong. That was how they ended up in his car, in complete quiet as he drove to her parents' house. It will be okay, he said softly. What if she goes back? She always goes back. She has never called you like this. Yes, she has, she answered, barely louder than a whisper. When they came to the country house, Isabella opened her door, rushing out. She could already hear the shouting and dish breaking from outside. When she ran inside, she took the shortest moment to look around the home that was never her home. The memory of it in her head was so different. She remembered it being, more falling apart, but if any person walked in, they would think that it was an ordinary house. Isabella was pulled out of her dazed state as she heard shouting come from the food-making room. She ran inside, seeing her father hit her mother with the back of his hand. Get away. She did not know, but she pushed her father away so he would let go of her mom. Mom? Mom? Are you okay? Isabella made a gagging sound as her father grabbed her neck and pulled her to her feet. Stop. Stop. She is pregnant, for goodness sake. Isabella watched as her mother, once again, hit her father to get him to stop his angry speech. Ethan came in and pulled the two apart, only to get into a fight as well. As Isabella sat next to her mother, she started to cry. Grabbing her hand, she brought it to her lips and kissed it softly. Sometimes I wonder what life would be like if... She stopped. After Ethan came in, he would call the police, and her mother was brought to the healing place. She had to have quick cutting open to stop the bleeding inside. Now, Isabella sat here, next to her bed. Ethan came in and stood by the door. I called him. She looked up, nodding. Good. I want him. I know. Damien arrived minutes later with his family. Isabella had met them in the waiting room, and she threw herself into his arms. I am still angry, she said, but I need you now. Are you okay? I am fine, truly. My mom is the one who was hurt. His parents stood up from their seats, and she gave a small smile. She saw Lucas and Hannah, and she did the same. She is asleep right now, she said to Damien. If you want, we could wait in her room. You guys do not have to be here, she said toward the others. But I thank you for coming. Ms. Evergreen? She turned around, hearing her name called. Her eyes grew wide as she saw the law keeper standing there with his small writing book out. Yes? I need your story of what happened. She knew that. In fact, she had gone through all of this before. She could choose to tell the truth or to tell a lie again. She was sure any choice would lead to the same result, so she nodded and followed the officer into an empty checkup room. Could you tell me what happened? The same thing that has been happening my entire life. She swallowed before continuing, laying a calming hand on her stomach. The law keeper helped her sit down. My dad hit her so badly she called me, and when I arrived, he hurt me too. Isabella sat next to her mother while Damien and his family waited outside. She had finally woken up. Mom? You have to leave. Please, she whispered, her voice breaking. I love him. No, you do not. You are scared of him. Sweetheart, you do not know what love is. He is my soulmate. And besides, I should not have made him mad as I had. He really does put up a lot with me. Tonight his chicken was not cooked enough. She shook her head, very angrily. Mom, I know what love is. I am in love. I am happy. Believe me, Mom, when you have met your soulmate, you know. I am begging you, come home with me. You could stay with Damien and I. It is a beautiful home with a big backyard and a huge kitchen, like you love, Mom. You could live with us and take care of your grandkids. Grandkids? What? Could not you tell? Isabella laughed softly. She pointed to her large stomach with a small grin. I could. You never told me. I wanted to, but... I cannot have my children around Dad, you know that. Samantha nodded, understanding. You are having 2 babies? 3 babies, actually, Isabella said with a smile. Could I be there when you start the baby coming process? Isabella's heart fell as she saw her mother's smile. I want you there, she said, but would Dad let you? Samantha's smile faded, and she shook her head as much as she could. The dark marks from the fight were clear now, and she was sore. Her neck had black and blue marks, her lip had a small sticky plaster on it, her eye was swollen. She looked terrible. She wiped her tears away before pretending to smile again. She was good at that. Your boyfriend, he is the dad. Yes. You love him. I do, Mom. I really do. I know that you will not let me see your kids. I did not say that. Could I at least meet him? His family is here too, would you like to meet them? I am damaged, they should not see me like this. They will love you, Mom. I will be back in a second. Do you need anything? No, I am okay, sweetheart. Isabella smiled softly before standing up and walking out. Damien and his family immediately stood up. She wants to meet you if you want to meet her. We would love to. Serafina said, standing up. I need to tell you all. She was in a bad happening. Why was she doing this? Was she going to tell a lie? Why? Because she was ashamed? Because she was ashamed by her mother? What was the point of hiding the terrible truth of her father? Actually, she was not. There is a reason why you have never met my parents. My dad, how does she say this? My mom was. My dad has been hurting us since I can remember. He takes it out on my mother. Tonight he hit her, so she has many dark marks and old cuts that you might see. Are you okay with that? They must have been surprised because no one said anything. She took that as a yes, and they followed her back to the room. Samantha sat up with a bright smile. Isabella grabbed Damien's hand and walked toward the bed. This is Damien. I am going to have such beautiful grandkids. You are so handsome. And are these your parents? I am Serafina, and this is my husband, Long John. It is so nice to meet you, Samantha said as a greeting. I am sorry I look such a mess. It is really my fault, honestly. Tell me about yourself. Isabella loved seeing her mother smile as she did. After a few hours, a doctor came in to say Samantha had to get some rest. They asked the family to leave, and as Isabella went to the door, she asked the question that bothered her. You are not leaving him, are you? I cannot, sweetheart. He needs me. And besides, I deserve it. Mom, do you know what the beaten wife problem is? It is when a woman is hit into thinking she deserves to be hurt. It is what you have. Isabella bit her lip as she left. When Isabella went back into the house, she was immediately asked by Cal to have a checkup done. She agreed. During it, she began talking about her mother and all her feelings. Do you want me to talk to her? Sometimes coming from a doctor is better than coming from a family member. Isabella nodded, and the next day, before she was allowed to leave, Cal and Isabella went to visit her. Samantha was too busy putting her clothes in her bag to look up. Mom? This is Dr. Callahan. He is my doctor. Would you talk to him? Samantha shook her head as she put her things in her bag. I am sorry, I really need to get back. I have to make midday food. Callahan froze beside Isabella, hearing Samantha speak. He stepped forward. Cannot you take a break? Samantha looked up and stopped what she was doing as soon as she looked at him. Isabella's eyes grew wide, and she smiled to herself. They were mates. 28. Isabella smiled gently as she opened the door to the pack house. Dr. Callahan was more able to make people do things than she was, it seemed, because her mother said yes to come stay with them. Even better, she said yes to tell the police about her father. It was clear that Samantha felt the special connection right away. She showed her mother where she would be staying, but her mother asked to stay with Cal. He was more than very happy to say yes to her wish. When Isabella made sure her mother was okay, she took a falling water bath in her room and called Ethan. As she came out of the washing room, she saw Damien, sitting on the bed with his hands between his legs like he was thinking hard. Like he thought another loud fight would start. Isabella wobbled to the bed, sitting next to him. I am mad that you made the choice without me, and I am angry that no one told me, but above everything else, I am very scared. What if you do not win? I will, Isabella. She nodded as he brought her into his arms. She laid her head on his chest, wishing what he said was the truth. I need my own people here. I know. What is Dr. Callahan's first name? Alexander. She smiled to herself. His name meant helper. When is it? The fight, I mean. After your baby is supposed to come out. You will win, she said strongly. You have to. The next day, after morning food, Isabella and her family went over to their house to begin moving in some of their things. Isabella got out of the big truck and went to the back. She reached for a small box, and Long John grabbed it before she could. You are 29 weeks along with baby. I can carry. No, you cannot. Long John gave her a look that made her roll her eyes with a small smile. Isabella walked into their new home to see Lucas and Damien pulling in the long soft seat and the flat top from the living room. Damien was carrying the long soft seat, while Lucas carried the flat top. She chuckled to herself. She could hear Hannah and Arabella upstairs, probably finishing the baby's room. She was not allowed to go in while they were putting color on the walls, so she decided to walk outside to the porch. She took out her talking device and sat down on the steps, sending a message to her mother. She smiled to herself as her talking device rang after she sent one message. Mom? Isabella. Her smile grew brighter as she listened to her mom's voice. It was no longer worried. She sounded somewhat happy. Hey, Mom, we are at our new house, moving things in. How are you? I am okay, sweetie, Alexander. He took me to a small eating place. Isabella listened to her mother talk about her morning with her special partner. She did not know it, but Alexander was hers. They were meant for each other. Isabella enjoyed hearing her mother's excitement. Oh, but have you thought about names? We have, but it is a long list. We still are not sure. Sweetheart, her mother whispered. Yes, Mom. I must say, Alexander's hearing is super great. Why do you say that? Because when I was in the kitchen, I dropped something, and he came right away. He was so fast. Laughing, she nodded. There is a lot I have to tell you, Mom. Maybe we could have evening food later? Do you think Arabella would mind if I cooked something? No, Mom, cook whatever you would like, but they probably will not eat. Oh, why? They have very strict eating rules. It was not a lie, truly. Hey, I will be back soon, and we can talk about it all, okay? Maybe we could do some stretchy poses like we used to. I would like that. You know we have to talk about Dad. Yeah, she sighed, I know. She said goodbye and stood up, walking back up the stairs. She, sadly, took a wrong step and fell down onto her knees. She winced with a sharp cry, and before she knew it, Damien and Long John were outside. Damien was very worried, asking her questions about how she was feeling. I am fine, she whispered as she grabbed Damien's hand. Dr. Cal is looking at you, okay? Baby, I am fine, truly. It would make me feel better, he pushed. Okay. She smiled as Damien picked her up like a bride and carried her back into their home. Their bed was set up in the biggest sleep room, but nothing else was ready as of now. She smiled seeing the good steps that were happening in their home. She felt bad she could not help, so she asked that only the heavy things be moved. As Damien came in, hanging up his talking device, he sat down next to his special partner, kissing her head. Hey, I was thinking, you should put pretty things around. You were so excited to put pretty things around your home, he said, confused. Yeah, I was, but then I knew I will not. I will not be able to see it. You should put pretty things around since you have to deal with it. Shaking his head, he grabbed her hand. No, Isabella. You will put pretty things around. I want you to. That way you can remember your house. It is our house, you know. She nodded with a small smile. Okay. She jumped a little, feeling her stomach as her little ones hit her ribs. What? Are they kicking? He smiled as he laid a strong hand on her stomach, feeling the tiny pokes. Does it hurt? Now, it does. They are kicking my ribs. Hey, maybe they will be good at football? Probably, he said with a smile. Do you want me to get you anything? No, I am okay. Then how about we look at some furniture picture books? Pick out what you like. She watched Dr. Cal very closely as he waved the magic stick over her stomach. She could not look at her stomach, the lines from stretching were very bad. Alexander, huh? He looked at her with a small smile. Yes. She has been through a lot. Alexander's hand squeezed the magic stick. His jaw tightened, and he nodded slowly. I know. I should have found her sooner. Are you seriously blaming yourself? In our ways, special partners are supposed to look for each other. And you did not? He looked at her then, with a deep, steady look. I did for 20 years. I gave up. I thought she did not want to be found. It is not your fault. I am glad she has you now. Do you think one day you might want to switch packs? I am sure Damien would not mind. Luna, he said, looking at her, my pack needs me, I am their helper for hurts. Right, she whispered. Silly question, she continued, turning her eyes away. It felt unfair. She lost her mother, and then found her, only to have her taken away again. Damien cleared his throat as he walked in, sweating from moving furniture all day. Strangely, he looked good in his unbuttoned shirt with sweat down his chest. How is she? She is fine, and so are the babies, but I am afraid resting in bed is a must now. No more walking, no more working out, no more pretending to be in bed but really just staying in the house. It is too risky to push yourself. Damien smiled. Okay, I will get the TV up here and the bookshelf so you can be entertained as we move the rest of the stuff in. I will bring up your special baby pillow too. Do you need anything? As Alexander cleaned up his tools, Isabella grabbed Damien's hand. Once he left, she looked at her special partner. I love you. He looked at her strangely for a moment before smiling. I love you too. No, I mean it. Not that fake stuff. I have never felt so much love in my life. She made a soft crying sound. You take such good care of me. I am so glad. I know, Isabella. I know, shoo, it is okay. How about this, I will finish downstairs and bring all the important things up, and then I will bring you up a bowl of cold sweet stuff and show you just how fun resting in bed can be. She smiled very brightly, nodding. I would like that. 29. Braxton? No, Isabella sighed. Connery? No, Damien answered, turning the paper of the baby naming book. This is so hard, Isabella groaned, turning to her other side as the bell for time went off. Every few hours, she had to change how she lay. She was getting upset with how little she could do. Staying still was annoying when it was not her choice. We will find names. Before they are 18? She laughed softly. If we ever decide to do this whole baby thing again, let us make it only one. We did not exactly want 3 babies this time, you know. I am telling you, you have super tiny baby seeds. She smiled, hearing Damien's laugh. She became a bit serious, looking out their sleep room window to the little lights in the sky. Do you think I will lose my seeing again? He stayed quiet and put the book down for just a second. I am not sure, Isabella. We have never talked about what happens if you do. It is going to be hard. You know, taking care of babies. I am not sure how I will manage. Well, you have me. You are an alpha, she whispered, you never get breaks. One day you will be too busy to help me change a dirty cloth or get them dressed. You have the pack too. They already do not see me as a good enough Luna. Why do you say that? Because they did not tell me what you were planning to do just because you told them not to. He stayed quiet as he listened. I told you. I know, and this is not a fight about that. I know, she made a soft crying sound as she felt tears fill her eyes. I know you did what you thought was best. I just mean, I think we should think about getting more help, you know? A baby helper? Yeah, maybe. They will have to be a wolf person, but I am sure we could find someone, right? Would it make you feel better to have one? Yes, she whispered. Because I am very scared that I will not be able to take care of my children. Isabella, he whispered, taking her into his arms. You are going to be a great mother. He did not understand how much that meant to her. Will you be okay if you lose your seeing again? She nodded after a few seconds. I will get used to it again. I always do. In the night, she had woken up to use the washing room. As she washed her hands, she winced from another practice pain. She groaned as it lasted longer than usual. She rolled her eyes before looking down at her stomach. You kids are really making me work hard. She returned to bed, lying down in Damien's arms as another practice pain took over her. She winced but did not make noise. She turned onto her back before sitting up. Her hair was wet from a falling water bath she had taken, so it was sticking to her skin. She was glad because it cooled her down a lot. She did not want to wake Damien, so she got up and went into the washing room. She used the ladies' room, and as she washed her hands, she felt a small burst and then a small stream down her legs. For a moment, she was confused. She was not due for a few more weeks, but as another practice pain started, she knew that this was not normally how they felt. They were stronger this time. She wobbled back into their room, waking Damien. What is it? What is wrong? I think I am starting baby coming. Oh my goddess, okay, we have gotten ready for this, he said to himself as he sat up. Here, sit down. I will get our hospital bag and your clothes. Before he rushed out nervously, he kissed the top of her head. He was clearly more jumbled than she was, and it made her laugh. He was so frantic, he did not know they still had to call the healing place. She reached over for her talking device, dialing Dr. Harper, who answered almost immediately. Hey, I am sorry to wake you at 4 a.m, but I am pretty sure my water broke. Meredith laughed on the other end. Is Damien doing that crazy thing all men do when their special one starts baby coming? Definitely, she laughed. I will meet you at the hospital, alright? Alright, thank you. For now, keep an eye on your strong squeezing feelings. Isabella hung up just as Damien came back in with 7 bags in his hands. Do we need anything else? She smiled, standing up. How about names? For our children? Darn, we still have not decided. Wait, do not walk. I will carry you. You have another thing coming if you think I will let you carry my big body to the car. You are not big, Isabella, he sighed. I am the very meaning of big, I am carrying many babies. Damien gave up and held her hand as they walked to the car. He quickly packed their bags into their car and ran to the driver's seat. As he turned on the car, Isabella leaned forward as another strong squeezing feeling started. Damien rubbed her back as she practiced her breathing ways. They are 20 minutes apart. I brought you some water, do you want it? No, I am okay. She swallowed the pain and started breathing normally again as the 60-second strong squeezing feeling ended. Damien was too frantic, driving out of the driveway to know that she was smiling. He clearly was worried more than she was. He was probably worried about the cutting open delivery, which, to be fair, she was nervous too. But she knew that cutting open deliveries were common, and that she would be okay. For Damien, this could possibly mean his special partner would not live. His people did not have cutting open deliveries, and she was sure that he had looked up what could go wrong. She reached over, grabbing his hand that was on the turning wheel. Hey, everything is going to be okay. I am supposed to be making you feel better, he said with a small smile, looking at her. I know you are worried, but everything will be fine, you know that? She laughed, rubbing her stomach. Damien, she said softly, we are going to have our babies. Be happy, not so stressed. You are right, you are right. I am sorry. He laid a strong hand on her upper leg as they drove through the city. When they arrived at the healing place, they parked in the spot for baby coming outside the emergency room. He slowed down to her walking speed as they walked inside. As soon as they walked through the door, Dr. Harper came through the two double doors, smiling. Hello, soon-to-be parents. Are we ready to have these 3 little babies? Oh, yes, Isabella whispered. I am so uncomfortable. Meredith laughed. Well, we have a rolling chair for you here to bring you up to your room. Damien pushed her chair into the lifting room to go up into the baby coming area. They unpacked their things, and she changed into her healing gown after getting her body checks. I really do not want to lie down again, she groaned. How about we take a walk down the long path? As Damien spoke, Dr. Harper walked in with a wide smile. I am sorry to bother you, but I wanted to talk to you. Do you have a moment? Yeah, of course, Isabella agreed, sitting down. You are early, which is normal for having many babies, but I want to do a few checks to make sure the babies are fully grown for your cutting open delivery, all right? Sounds good. Isabella was leaning against the wall as Damien rubbed her back. She tried to watch her breathing to get through the pain, but her strong squeezing feelings were getting closer, and the pain was getting worse. The babies were healthy, although the little girl's airbags were smaller than the boys'. They are getting closer, Damien whispered. Yeah, believe me, I know. We still have not chosen names. It is okay to not be completely ready. We can choose them once they are born. Are your parents and my mom here yet? The cutting open is soon. They are in the room. Do you want to go lie down for a little? Yeah, that would be good. When Isabella walked back into her room, her family was already waiting. She was glad to see them, but the pure pain somewhat hid it. She laid to the side, whining softly as another strong squeezing feeling started. How are you feeling, sweetie? Looking at her mother, she smiled tiredly. Very tired, honestly. It has been a few hours. I know, honey, but you are doing so well. You just have to stay awake for a few more hours, and then you can sleep, and all of us can take care of them until they are hungry again. Thanks, Mom. Damien went to get you some cold water ice. Do you need anything else? No, I am okay. Well, can I ask something? Isabella nodded. Have you thought about joining in marriage? I mean, is he the one? Do you want to be with him? Of course, Mom. I have not thought much about it, honestly. It is not that important to me. Why do you ask? I was just curious, sweetie. I did the old way, and got joined in marriage, and now I am getting separated. You have to do what you think is best. I will say, though, that if your kids have his family name, some things will be difficult. I know, Mom. I do not think he wants to, honestly, and that is okay. I do not need to be joined in marriage to know that he loves me. Isabella sat up as Damien came in with her cold water ice. Can you rub my back? Damien took off his foot coverings and got onto the bed behind Isabella so she could lean against him. She started crying after a second from the pain, and it honestly broke his heart. If I could have the baby pain, I would. Laughing, she nodded. I know. You are doing so well, beautiful, you know that? In a few hours, you would have given me 3 beautiful children. They are going to have your deep skin and beautiful eyes. No, I hope they have your eyes. Smiling, he nodded. And we will figure out names, of course. Put them in those little matching clothes you bought at the shop. Maybe take some pictures. Isabella, Meredith called, walking into their room after a small tap. She was dressed in her usual work clothes, but this time she had on a special head covering for cutting. Are you ready to meet your little ones? Isabella had to admit, this stuff was scary. She could not feel the bottom half of her body because of the special sleep medicine, and there was a large sheet in front of her so she could not see any of the cutting. She made a scoffing sound at herself when she knew that she probably would not be able to see in a few moments anyway. She could hear the steady beat of her heart and the sound of soft rubber snapping onto the cutting doctor's hands as they came toward her. "Damien? I am here," he said, coming into her sight. He had a cover over his nose and mouth, but she could tell he was smiling by his eyes. She just looked at him. She wanted to remember him forever. She could feel tears fall down her face, and he wiped them. "What is wrong?" "The worst thing about losing my seeing is that I will not be able to see you anymore, and I will not be able to see our children. Maybe you will not lose your seeing again." "Isabella. I am scared," she whispered. What if one of them is blind? Life is hard when you cannot do everything. They are healthy, Isabella, but even if they were blind, they would be loved and cared for like any other child. "I know," she made a soft crying sound. "It is just," she was cut off by a sharp cry throughout the operation room. Damien left for just a second to cut the baby's connection cord, and when he returned, he had a screaming baby in his arms. He gently placed the baby on Isabella's chest while still holding them so she could see. "She is beautiful," she made a soft crying sound. "She is also the first one born. I am going to have a heart attack. Mr. Weston, may I see her for a moment? I just have to check her body checks." Damien handed the little girl off to the helper, and Isabella watched as she was taken away and put onto a flat surface. Isabella could see Meredith's shadow as she lifted her arms, and another cry was heard. Damien, again, stood and cut the cord and then brought the baby boy to Isabella, who cried like a new mother would. "Oh, God, he has your nose. Is that a bad thing?" "No," she whispered. She watched with great care as Damien once again handed the baby off to a helper who took him to check his body checks. "All right, Isabella, one more to go. How are you doing?" "I am okay, Dr. Harper." After a few minutes, the last baby boy was delivered and laid onto Isabella's chest for her to see. And as she focused on her baby boy's face, she knew that it was slowly going away. She blinked, and suddenly all she saw was black. 30. Isabella could hear. The birds outside the window were loud, and her boys were making gurgling sounds in their baby beds. Isabella could feel. She could feel the cloth of her dress against her upper legs. Isabella could taste. She could taste the green herb from her warm drink. Isabella could smell. She could smell the baby white dust in the room. She could not see, though, and strangely, she was okay. She was okay to give her seeing for the birth of 3 healthy and beautiful babies. Still, it was not good. She could hear Damien lean against the wall, and she turned, smiling toward him as best as she could. "What are they doing?" "Our girl is sleeping, deeply, even as her brothers open their mouths wide. The boys have their eyes open, but they look sleepy because they are opening their mouths wide. They are wrapped up tightly right now. They are slowly going back to sleep. We need names," she sighed. "We will figure them out, I promise," he whispered into her ear. She sighed softly in his hug. It felt like she only got moments of quiet before the war came into her head. She found herself doubting her happiness because it was short-lived. Maybe he would die, maybe she would not spend her human life with her special partner. "Do you think you will win?" "Yes. That alpha is filled with hate and wanting too much. I have you and our family. I have to." Isabella was allowed to be there. She was allowed to watch. But what special partner would want to watch their special partner beat someone to death, or even worse, get beaten to their death? He wanted her there, he said it would give him strength, but she said no. She could not do that to herself. But as she sat alone in their home, her stomach dropped, and she knew that she was strong. She lived through bad treatment, not being able to do things, and unfairness. Not only did she live, but she grew well. Damien did not want her there, he needed her there. He needed to know that she was by his side no matter what, just like he was for her. Hannah gently held her hand as she led her through the very big group of people. The babies were left with Samantha, who was more than happy to have some time alone. Isabella had to take a breath and remind her that the world would not make her go through so much bad stuff just to be alone forever. She saw nothing but felt everything. She could feel the strong feelings between her pack and the other. She could feel the strong anger between the wolves as she walked through the crowd. They must have gotten to the front because all she felt was the sun on her skin, but that quick joy went away as she heard the thick sound of bone breaking. She did not know who it was. She did not want to know. After moments of the scary unknown, a bell rang, and she heard Hannah gasp beside her. What? Hannah, what happened? He won. Damien? Yes, Isabella. He won. As Damien came to her, she threw herself into his arms only to hear him wince. Oh, God, I am sorry. You must be so hurt. I am so sorry. It is okay, Isabella. I am fine. You better be, she whispered with all her heart. As Damien laid on her chest, she ran a gentle hand through his hair. She smiled, hearing his steady breaths. He was awake. She could tell by how his hold on her shirt tightened and let go. I have decided on the names. I thought you were not sure. You know, before you left today, I was sitting near the baby's room, and I heard one of them make a happy sound. He reminded me of you. We can name our son Damien, too, like you dreamed of, and the other boy, Christian, spelled with a Y, so I can have some kind of special touch, she smiled. And our daughter? Alora. Thank you, he whispered, sitting up, pulling her onto his lap. You are welcome, she answered, smiling. Besides, you make beautiful babies. They should have beautiful names too. We make beautiful babies. How about next time we do it naturally? She laughed, shaking her head very much. Definitely. During the following months, the alphas took the land of their enemy and allowed the pack members to join the winning pack or move to another. Many chose to be known as members of the Western Pack. Their land spread far past their house and into the city. Isabella eventually went back to work, only to leave her job and change to a different place that had mostly women working there. Their home was decorated and lived in, and soon a mess of children and dog toys took over every part of their fancy home. A few months after her baby coming, Damien came home with a cute little dog that would teach her to be her helper dog. Isabella's seeing never returned. Part of her was glad. She would have missed her old self, and she was always sure that her hard times would never hold her back, and they never did. After a few years, she became a partner of her firm, the first ever blind lawyer to do so. Part of her was sad. Her seeing did not return. She wanted to see her children grow and the things that happened in their lives, but she was more than happy just to be there. Samantha and Kel moved away, returning to his pack where they lived out their days very happily in love. They had another beautiful child together, and Samantha was a better mom to both than she ever had been before. She was going to talk to someone, sometimes with Cal, and tried to work through all her worries. She was doing very well. She was even going back to school to become a helper nurse to help her special partner with his healing place. Damien and Isabella quickly knew that their time together was not forever, as his getting older would slow down to the same speed as his special partner's. He was okay knowing he would not live as long as he was with Isabella every step of the way. Mama. Damien and Christian have more numbers than me. Can I have a little sister? Isabella smiled as Alora ran into her lap. Maybe. Why do not you go ask your father? She smiled, hearing her children throw themselves outside the door to go outside. Damien was in some unknown place doing some unknown thing. She knew her children were safe, however, as their entire land was always filled with shapeshifters. As she read her legal papers at the kitchen table, she hummed, thinking. It had been 5 years since the 3 babies were born. Perhaps they could have just one more. Alora would be very upset if it was another boy. Isabella chuckled to herself and continued reading. If you had asked her 7 years ago where she would be now, she would not have said this. She would not have answered, would be happy with my special partner and 3 beautiful children in a grand house as a partner in a firm. I would have never answered, I will be a Luna. She always believed she could never get everything she wanted, that not being able to do things limited her. In some ways, it did. She could not drive, could not see her children grow, and had to rely on her other senses to get by. Strangely, actually, in a funny way, she knew she saw better without her seeing than with it. She focused better, she had a better knowing, she could feel more, appreciate less. In a way, her not seeing was a good thing hiding. Some days were hard. Sometimes she would spill something or break something. She would cry and get angry at herself. But then Damien would come to her, and everything would be better. Everything was always better with him. During the later hours of night, Damien woke up to a painful loud cry. He stood up quickly, rushing out of his room to go to the baby's room. Isabella, worried, followed the sounds, only to be very surprised, but by the sounds of bone breaking. They are changing shape. They are only 10, Damien. What do you mean they are changing shape? What does that mean? I do not know, Isabella. Stay close by so they can feel you, but do not touch them. After a few hours of hearing such deep cries, Damien sighed in relief, and she felt a soft, wet nose touch her hand. She smiled, feeling the texture of her child's soft hair. I bet you are so beautiful. They have to go for a run, Isabella. I will go with them. They will be okay. Okay, be safe, please. I will come wait on the porch. As Damien walked to the edge of the big group of trees with his 3, very uneven young wolves, he smiled and leaned down. While her brothers ran off quickly, Alora stayed behind. Damien knelt down, rubbing her familiar soft hair. Welcome back, Tala. The wolf bent her back to the moon and made a long cry before rushing through the forest floor with Damien shortly behind her. The end. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe, like and share this video to continue listening to this type of story daily and also, to appreciate this community too. I would like to know your opinion about this story. Please comment below.